Hey everybody, welcome to Gootz's Wrestling Pod. I'm your host, Ray Gootz. It's a new year, and with me is Andrew Lee. Andrew, how you feeling, buddy?
Dude, I am feeling okay, man. Congratulations.
Oh yeah, for those of you that just listen to the podcast and don't know, I got my driver's license finally this week after all these years. So I'll be driving around. Maybe I'll drive to WrestleMania in Philly and like Austin with a beer truck, spray Vince McMahon, Tony Khan.
Zamboni? You gonna drive the Zamboni? Was it a Zamboni?
He did a Zamboni, he did a Coors Light beer truck. He was crazy back then, bro.
Yeah. I don't know why, but like if you think about it, like it's not that exciting driving a Zamboni into the
The way he did it was exciting.
Yeah, exactly. And I looking back at it now, I'm like, why was that so exciting that he
Because he
drove a
was, he was
fucking
not allowed in the
it's not like
building.
he used it to run over anybody though. You know?
He was not allowed in the building. They had all these barriers, and Vince went on this big speech about how he outsmarted Stone Cold, and then the Zamboni breaks down the barriers. And then thing that made it, you have to go back and watch that Raw. The thing that made it great is he jumps from the Zamboni into the ring.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, because
And
yeah,
it
yeah.
was all it to me, like, still to this day, that's more impressive than like most of the high spots on AEW. Like it
Do
felt like
you It would be interesting if we did like a watch review of some like iconic Raws and Nitros. Not all of them, because there's a lot that
it'll
are
be
unnecessary.
by the time we get to 97, 98, we're gonna have so many pay-per-views though. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, we'll do it when we're 65.
Yeah. So let's see. Let's right now though, we are in a new year. We're in 1991. It's Royal Rumble 91. I'm wearing an Ultimate Warrior shirt, baby. Check it out.
Oh yeah, nice.
Um, yeah, I actually so I told you last week, I saw this live. My friend that I went to grade school with, he had a party for me and all the other kids at his apartment when we watched this. We watched WrestleMania 7 live. It was pretty fun. I remember there was one kid who was making fun of me for being excited for what was happening on the show. And I just want to go back in time and be like, if you think this is so stupid, why the fuck are you here? You right?
How old are you?
I was 10 and the kid was like 10 or 9. But the kid was like, what are you so, oh, you really happy Hulk Hogan won? And it's like, well, then if you're not excited
Well,
about,
to be fair, can I ask how are you behaving?
I was like, yay, Hulk Hogan won. Oh my God. All the other kids were acting excited too.
No, no, no. I think you're downplaying how excited you probably were. I feel like you were like,
I was, can I tell you, I was ecstatic when Ultimate Warrior lost the belt because then it meant that Hogan was going to get it back. So,
oh, you got really excited when Ultimate Warrior lost.
yeah.
Maybe that's why he got mad at you. He's an Ultimate Warrior fan.
But it was fun, dude. I wish I could go, dude. That was a fun fucking night. That was really, and you know what? This show, I thought the show held up. What about you?
Dude, I don't know if you're ever gonna have a bad time with a Royal Rumble. I'm
Oh,
being
we're gonna
afraid
get
of it.
there. There's some bad.
Oh, okay. I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it'll be like. How can you have a bad? How can you have a bad time with a match of this concept where
That made,
it's like you don't know who's coming out, and it's like you're getting a sampling of everybody. You
the thing
know?
that made this one so good, and this I think is the best one. Up until this point, this is the best Rumble since from '88 to today to '91. Right now we're in January '91. The reason why this is so good was the other matches had stories and there's implications for WrestleMania. Like they're building all these implications that make you want to buy WrestleMania. It's not just the Rumble, and I feel like the first three Royal Rumbles, it's just like nothing's happening, and then here's a Royal Rumble. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, like the first Rumble's not even like
Pay per view.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It was like yeah, I know I get what you're saying. This is like the first Rumble where now it's an automatic given that the Royal Rumble is connected to WrestleMania. Back then it wasn't. This is like the first one. It feels like there's a connection between Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, like the big angle that leads WrestleMania 5 happens after the Rumble. It's not even at the Rumble. And the end
Hmm.
of the Rumble really has nothing to do with anything that happens at WrestleMania. It's like, okay,
Yeah.
stud wins.
We
What,
we've gotten so used to it, we take it for granted that like we just assume, oh well, it's Royal Rumbles. Well, hey, what's gonna happen at WrestleMania? Well, they're gonna probably get out. All the pieces are gonna be put in place by Royal Rumble. We automatically assume that.
Yeah, the thing that makes that's why this was so exciting in '91 because you just kind of assume that Warrior's going to beat Slaughter, and then they're going to move on to like Hogan Warrior. Like you don't think this match is going to lead to anything, right? You just think it's going to be another title defense for Warrior. And in my head back then, I have it in my head that Warrior's going to have the belt for like a year or two. He's not even at a year at this point.
I mean, yeah, because champions back then, yeah. Yeah, whenever somebody's a champion, you kind of assume they're gonna hold it for like a decent amount at least.
Well, the last, yeah. Well, I mean, like, if you think about it, Hogan in the '80s carried it for 4 years. Then Macho Man had it for a year, and then Hogan had it for a year. So you're like, all right, Warrior's not going to lose tonight, and this match isn't going to mean anything. It's just like a chance for Warrior. And then when he loses, you're like, what the fuck is going to happen at WrestleMania? And then when Hogan announces that, like, I'm coming after Slaughter, you're like, oh fuck, Hogan's getting the belt again. Like, oh wow, Hogan. I kind of thought Hogan was gonna have like a secondary match, and it was Warrior was gonna have the title match. You know what I mean? Like they were already moving Hogan down, and now you realize like, oh fuck, Hogan's moving back up, and Warrior's moving down, and that was exciting at the time for me. I don't know how other people felt, and watching it is exciting because like it's a good like the Warrior Slaughter match. It's a good storyline, and the way like they transitioned Warrior out of the belt and put Hogan into the belt, I thought they handled it pretty good on this show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so why don't we get into it, okay?
Let's get into it, brother.
Let's get into it. Royal Rumble 1991. Tagline is friend versus friend, foe versus foe. It's every man for himself. What a fucking long tagline. It was too long for me.
Hey, was there a different announcer, not Vince McMahon?
No. And it starts off with a very cold open, okay? There's no intro. It starts off with our flag flapping in the wind and then national anthem.
Howard Finkel. Yeah.
And the reason why, because I was like, why are they opening it like this? Because Desert Storm, remember, there was Desert Shield, and it turned to Desert Storm, which means we're not protecting anymore. We're now actively fighting. It started on January 17th, 1991. Royal Rumble takes place January 19th, 1991. That means it's the Desert Storm started 2 days right before Royal Rumble. So that's why they're doing this somber kind of opening. As soon as they're done playing the national anthem, boom, we get that full Royal Rumble intro with fucking Junior listing off all his action figures. We got Hulk Hogan, we got Ultimate Warrior.
So I watched it on DVD. It's not Hulk. It's not Vince McMahon doing the announcement.
Who is it?
It's not. It's some guy that she's trying to sound like Mean Gene, but it's not. I almost thought it was Mean Gene, but it's like. I'm wondering why on the DVD it's not Vince McMahon, because it's not like Vince McMahon's like, I don't give you permission to use my voice, like, but it's not on my DVD copy. It's not Vince McMahon. Maybe the music talks over it. Is it like a popular song he's talking over?
No, it's that classic Royal Rumble theme song.
Yeah, but that's weird. That's not on the '91 DVD.
Yeah. I like that theme song though. That Royal Rumble theme song.
I'm like, why?
Yeah,
It's like, it's not on the '91 DVD. It's really weird. It's weird the guy they got.
Did you watch this on Peacock?
No, I watched it on DVD.
Go after this. Go check out Peacock, and you're gonna hear Vince's. In your DVD, do they start off with that cold opening with the flag and the national anthem? So it starts off the same way. That's weird. Then why is it the fucking? I'm sure we could Google it and it'll come out. But it's Vince. It's Junior.
Must have lost the rights to the song at some point.
Yeah, but dude, I love it. I love him just naming off like every single wrestler. I actually would like it if on Collision or on Dynamite, Tony Khan did this. Or something, or one of the pay-per-views, he should do this, where he goes, it's all in Seattle, Washington. We got Darby Allin. We got Kenny Omega. We got the Alpha. Like Chris Jericho. Like, if he did this, you will, at first, it's kind of cringy, but you would be like, you know what? This is funny as hell. I love it. You know? Just somebody super enthusiastic about all the wrestlers you're going to be seeing.
You know what? You just have Jim Ross do it, not do anything else.
No, I want Tony Khan to do it. I really want Tony to come through it. I think he would, like, every once in a while, his voice would crack. Oh, it'd be fantastic. You know? The Death Rider, John Mox. Great. Commentators are gonna be oh, by the way, this is taking place January 19th, 1991 in Miami, Florida. 16,000 people are in attendance. Gorilla Monsoon.
Show.
What?
A hot crowd the whole show. They were really into it.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, they're ready for this Royal Rumble, bro. It's just Royal Rumble time. And Gorilla Monsoon and Roddy Piper, they welcome us to the show. And Piper is already acting like a fucking fool, saying the guys in the back have hair on their teeth. I don't know what the fuck that means. What the fuck does that mean? The guys in the back have hair on their teeth.
They
what
really
does that mean?
Means they're tough.
He is going to say so many things that make no fucking sense throughout the show. It's just like, how much did the drugs fuck up his brain? It's just ridiculous, some of the stuff he says.
The drugs completely destroyed his brain.
They did. But we're gonna go right into our
He does a good job in the Virgil match. He does a really good job.
He does a good job a couple of instances, including the Virgil matches. A couple of instances he does a good job, but he is one of those people who just can't get out of his own way. He has to like inject something in that makes no sense. He thinks he's being funny, and it's like, can you just like?
Well, he's there to mainly get himself over. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. He gets in his own way. I know he says these extra little lines because he thinks he's getting himself over, when in reality he just sounds like a goddamn moron.
Yeah, I think in his mind he probably was like, I still want to wrestle, and Vince has me in the commentary booth. I'm gonna get myself over.
Yeah, I know that's what he's thinking, because actually that's what he kind of talks about in his book that I did buy and I had read. Mm-hmm. So yeah, he does talk about that.
In a year, he has a great performance at the 92 Rumble. He fucking kills it. So he could still go. It's just Vince, for whatever reason, decided that he couldn't. Vince's problem back in this era, if there was one problem he had, and it wound up almost costing him his company, he gave up on guys way too young.
Way too early. But, you know, this is actually, everybody is aware of this, right? This is something that they said multiple times. He put Hogan, Macho Man, Piper, everyone out to pasture way too fucking soon.
Yeah.
They did, you know what they said? Like, didn't he, like, give up on them, like, when they were in their, like, late 30s? Which is crazy if you think about it, because, like, he used Undertaker till he was, like, 60 or something. You know?
Dude, he could have got years out of, especially Hogan and Savage.
Yes.
Years out of them. There was no
he could have got decades out of them, really, if you think about it.
One reason was Savage fucked Stephanie. But besides that, there was no reason to like give up on this guy so fast. So Savage still had bangers. Savage had bangers in WCW. There was no reason to give up on him. And it's not like Savage's plan was to. He wanted to do a story where he's putting over fucking Shawn Michaels for 2 years. It's not like he's like, I want to beat everybody.
Yeah. And like, if you think about Hogan, when he came back to WWE and he had these great matches with Kurt Angle, Brock Lesnar, and The Rock, and so forth, this was in the 2000s. Can you imagine if Hogan had stayed there and Vince was using him? That's what I'm saying. He couldn't have just gotten years out of them. He could have got decades out of them. Like, if Hogan and Macho Man and Junior all still got along and they were with the company and they never left, I think, could have been using Hogan and Macho Man all the way up to 2010 or maybe more. I really think so.
Macho Man, conceivably, Macho Man should have been made a commentator in like 2000, not 1991.
Not 1991, exactly. I always thought that was very weird.
Yeah, I can see like 2002 because he was a good commentator, Macho Man. I can see like 2002, you move him in, and then like you kind of make him a commissioner, and then you just like, he's just the guy you probably should just kept. He should still be there. Like, he comes on, he's like the Jack Tunney now. Like, I was sitting in my office if he was still alive. Seth Rollins, you gotta take on Shinsuke. Yeah, dig it, I like it. Like, he should still be there. But you know, I mean, I don't know, bro. But like the thing, so when I was a kid, when I'm this age, when 1991, I assumed that number one, Piper must be old, and number two, he must be injured, which is why he's in the announce booth. So in the 92 Rumble, when he's like when he's like really doing, he does a really good job. The 92 Rumble, he's like, he has two good matches. He's really good at in the actual Rumble match, and he has a really good match with a Mountie, and he gets the IC belt. I was like, well, if he's still this good, why was he trapped in the announce booth? Like, it just made no sense.
Do you think maybe in '91 he was injured?
Well, he gets in a motorcycle accident right before WrestleMania 7. You're gonna see him on crutches at WrestleMania 7. No, I just think that that Vince was like, this is all I see you as right now.
Probably,
maybe Vince was annoyed that he left in '87.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into it. The first match is a tag team match. The Orient Express, who is no longer Mr. Saito, or Sato. Is it Sato?
Yeah, it's
yeah,
Kato.
Sato is no
the tag
longer.
team got so much better with Kato.
Yeah, Mr. Saito is actually, that was great mood as partner. It's originally Orient Express was Sato and Tanaka. Right now it is Kato and Tanaka. Kato is wearing a mask. He is not Japanese at all. It is Paul Diamond, who will go on
company in AWA. Yeah.
Yes, or go on to be Max Moon. It's Kato and Tanaka with Mr. Fuji versus the Rockers. And they do mention on commentary that the winner of this is probably going to get a title shot against the Hart Foundation. So there is something on the line in this match. And let me tell you, this match really showcased Tanaka's moveset. I've always seen this guy job it, and he's actually very good.
It was a really good tag match, bro.
Yeah, he was very good. He's got a shit-looking body, but this guy, like, some of his moves are so hard-hitting, and his kicks are, like, super quick. He's great. He's got good high-impact moves. And this is your typical Rockers match. They do a lot of the tandem tag team offense, which I love. I don't think there's any. Actually, Young Bucks. Young Bucks are the only ones who I could think of that really do this. The tandem tag team offense where they're doing the same move at the same time kind of deal, right? Young Bucks do it. And anybody else that do it right now?
I don't know. Right now, well, the Hardys. Yeah, I guess you can still count the Hardys.
Yeah, I guess you're right. I'm a big fan of that. How about you? Like when tag teams are doing the same move at the same time, like they're both.
Oh yeah. No. But no one did it as good as the Rockers.
No, the Rockers are the kings of this fucking tandem tag team offense. They're the fucking kings of it. They're so. I don't know how, like, they're so good at timing that they literally are doing it at the same time a lot of times. And it's like, I don't even know how they know. They're just so in sync with each other. It's fantastic. And one thing I noticed about this, I don't know if you noticed, but Pat Tanaka, he does not shave his fucking pits.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
He's got hairy pits. He's one of the few guys I've seen in wrestling where he just doesn't. He's got hairy pits.
That's why Vince kicked him to the curb.
Yeah, maybe. Most of this match is Shawn Michaels getting worked on by Pat Tanaka. Really, Kato is hardly in this match. It's really Pat Tanaka and Shawn Michaels in the ring, and they got great chemistry. Marty Jannetty finally makes a hot tag in, and guess what he does? He hits a pair of fucking lousy-looking drop kicks that is nowhere near the mark. They look so fucking bad that it actually starts killing off the crowd reaction because they look so terrible. But it doesn't matter. The Orient Express, what they try to do, they try to go to do a catapult move, and Shawn Michaels, he attacks them, and it turns it into Marty Jannetty doing a sunset flip instead. A sunset flip cover on Pat Tanaka for a win. Fantastic 20-minute opening match. I loved it.
This was a great match, and this is a prime example of less is more. So on the last show we watched, Starrcade, there was 10 tag matches. None of them stand out. None of them
all 5 minutes.
Yeah, they're all 5 minutes. This match had me and my friends on their feet in 1991, and it had me enthralled in 2023. It's memorable. All you need is one great tag match, and that makes people on a show like this. You put in one, and that makes people want to watch 50 of them. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Because when you have 30 fucking mediocre tag matches, it just loses its luster. And this was the way to do it. This was the best pay-per-view match Shawn Michaels has had so far. You can
I
see,
would also say this is the best pay-per-view match the Orient Express has had so far.
and yeah, but this will be the best pay-per-view match Orient Express ever has because I don't think they have another one after this.
Yeah.
But yeah, this was when you compare this match to the WrestleMania 6 match that they have, because they remember it was Orient Express versus the Rockers at WrestleMania 6. This match is so much better. It's like night and day.
I was actually going to say this. I am going to make a bold statement here. This match, I would recommend people watch it. This is a recommended match.
Yes.
Because everybody wants to see a sampling of what the Orient Express really Pat Tanaka can do. Because you're going to probably see him job most of everything you're going to watch. If you actually want to see him as a wrestler, this is the match you need to watch. It really showcases him for the first time. I thought this guy stunk until I watched this match. And it also, I would say, this is a great match to watch and say, everyone says that when the Rockers were together, Marty Jannetty was better than Shawn Michaels. I disagree. You watch this match, Shawn Michaels is way better than Marty Jannetty.
There's something different about Shawn Michaels from just Survivor Series 90 to here. Like, it feels like he has more confidence. He's kind of figuring out, I can be a star. I'm not just the guy standing behind Jake the Snake. And I feel that coming off of, and I didn't pick it up. I remember as a kid, like the Rockers are like, because they used to just lose all the time, right? On whenever there was a big show.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's like the Rockers, I mean, even as a kid, I was like, the Rockers feel different. And I didn't know what was going to happen. I couldn't predict the future. I would have, you told me, oh yeah, Shawn Michaels going to get the title. I'd be like, no, he's not. That fucking guy. But you can see that Shawn.
If you told me they were going to break up the way they did, I would have been like, you're a lot. You're like, yeah.
Now knowing where we are today, you can see there's something in Shawn's eyes that's like, I'm going for it. I don't know what I'm going for, but I'm going for it.
I agree with you. There's a change in Shawn Michaels. He really, I am not a Shawn Michaels fan at all, but I've always said he's a great performer. This is one of those like, you just have to watch this match, guys. This
is where, and I think Marty even has it too. Like they are like, we're not gonna lose to the Twin Towers in 4-minute matches anymore. We're gonna mean something to Vince and the fans.
I agree. So after this fantastic match, we're actually gonna get a pretty interesting segment. We got Sean Mooney. He's with Randy Savage. They're in the back, and he goes, I'm #1 contender for the title, man. Sergeant Slaughter, he's got a match tonight, and he promised that he's going to give me a title shot when he wins. And Sean Mooney goes, yeah, but that doesn't make you #1 contender because what if Ultimate Warrior wins? And he goes, Macho Man's like, well, Sherry's going to take care of that. And they have a little monitor, and he goes, let's see what happens right now. And they look at the monitor, and Sherry's walking into the arena. And then they cut to the arena shot where she's there. And she goes up on that little, I wish they still had this, that little like interview
stage. Yeah. Mean Gene, I used to think it was like Mean Gene's interview stage. Like he
I know.
He has like a little stage.
I remember like somewhere in the 2000s, they did bring it back for a little bit. Do you remember?
They had Mean Gene, so when they would do the old school Raws, because Randy Orton did a segment with Mean Gene on it, they would bring it back for Mean Gene to stand on. He interviewed Randy Orton on it, on one of the
but I thought like when Mike Adamle was also there, they had it. Well,
I'd have had it on the ECW show, but I do know when they did the old school Raws, Mean Gene would interview people on it.
Yeah, I get why you do it in the ring, but I like that there's a separate stage. I don't know. I'm a fan of it.
Brother, anyway, Blubber, Bruce Pritchard broke down. Blubber. Bruce Pritchard broke down when they stopped doing it. He was like, when it's a live show, it's so much extra work to build a set and then have the audience go look at that set as opposed to just keep it in the ring and keep it on the stage, that it's not worth it anymore.
Absolutely. I totally understand why they got rid of it. 100%.
I wish they didn't get rid of it. I
just think sometimes certain things are worth the effort. I just, anyways, so Sherry comes into the arena and she actually goes up on that little interview stage with Mean Gene, and she starts challenging the Warrior, and she's like trying to make fun of him. And let me tell you something, Sherry's amazing, but this is not one of her best promos.
Well, I realized what was happening with her.
What was happening?
she's live in front of people doing it basically an in-ring segment. Like they didn't do that like this back then. They didn't have live like interview segments. Everything was edited. Everything. If a brother love segment went wrong, the cat just punched the dog.
Tell the cat we're live, pal. All right, quit that shit. You're live.
If a brother love segment went wrong, they would redo it like the next day. So like she is used to, we're gonna have another take, and here she's, we're kind of like, oh, why is she so nervous? But they didn't do that back then. What she's doing, she has to talk for a really long time live.
Oh, you know what else I think? She's been fed lines that it's not even her own words, because some of this shit she had to say, it's like now day levels bad. She's going like, she starts saying stuff like the kingdom of madness, and she would never fucking say that.
Yeah, no, they probably
these are lines that she probably had to rehearse.
Yeah,
and you could see in her eyes she's trying to like, I can't fuck this up. I have to say everything they told me to say, and it's not her best promo, but I would say she still held it down. Like better than
and this is also on a pay-per-view. Like it's completely out of her comfort zone, and she's got to carry it. Like Macho Man's not out there; he's in the back. Warrior's not talking, so he can't save her. So, and she's just got to talk and talk and talk. I thought she did a pretty good job, but even as a kid, I was like, "Why are they going down this road?" But
yeah, it was, like I said, it's not one of Sherry's best promos, but
it's also a weird road for 91.
Yeah, but it's also better than like almost anything you see right now. Like better than any Jade Cargill shit, right? But anyway, she's calling out Warrior, and he does ultimately come out, and Warrior plays basically a caveman in this. He's not like talking at all, and he's just like staring like a fucking Neanderthal. And Sherry starts flirting with him, unzipping his fucking jacket. She starts sexually harassing him, and she kisses him on the lips.
The crowd started cheering.
Yeah, but before she got on her knees, she kissed him, and he jerks his head like, "What the fuck was that?"
He jerks his head like he got attacked.
Yeah, he's still not speaking. And then, Sherry gets down on her knees, and it's very, provocative, like, stance. Crowd's getting into it when then he fucking, on an Ultimate Warrior, spits because he's grossed out by that kiss, and he screams. Basically, she's asking to can you give Macho Man a title shot? And he screams, "No!" And everyone starts cheering, and I'm thinking like, wait, but doesn't this make him like not a worthy champion?
Well, I mean, he probably is like, I don't want to fight. He was fighting Macho Man on all the house show circuits. So he probably, and they don't explain it, but as a kid, I took it because by the way, so in December of 1990, I went to my first live show. I went to a house show in Nassau Coliseum. And the main event was Savage Warrior, and Warrior beats him. Warrior beat him, like he pinned him. So in my head, as a kid back then, I'm thinking, well, yeah, he's been beating Macho Man all the house shows. So why should he keep getting title shots?
So I did not know that. Yeah. Okay.
And they don't tell you that because they were acting back then like the house shows don't exist. But I was
exactly. They kind of still do.
But I saw him lose to Warrior. So
but here's the thing though. If you're like you said, they don't acknowledge that house shows exist, right? So if you're just watching this, you're just like, this guy is he's a chicken shit champion.
Well, they don't acknowledge the results of the house shows, but they are advertising the house shows. So when you watch Superstars, they're like coming in your area, and every single show is headlined by Warrior Savage. So you knew that wherever you were, you knew that Savage and Warrior were fighting like every other day.
Okay. All right. So Ultimate Warrior is not
Warrior still had the belt, so you would assume that Savage is losing.
Yeah, so he's not a chicken shit champion, I guess. But you know what? Savage is pissed off because Savage is watching this and he's going, this Warrior is not a worthy champion. He's chicken shit. And he fucking runs out and he goes to Sherry. He's like, what happened? Your plan backfired. And he's all mad.
You see how Savage jumped over the guardrail?
Dude, he is so fucking fast.
Insane. There's no one that moves like him, even now.
Yeah. He moves like yeah, he moves like, you know how he was here, he moves like a cat. Macho Man legit moves like a cat. Even the way, like in his matches, when you see him get up on the top rope, he never, like, you never see him go up gingerly. He just fucking like jumps up there and he's like crouched up there. He's and he's always, even like when he's just standing in the ring, if you notice, he's always standing on his toes,
Yeah.
right? He's standing on his toes. He's very like, yeah, he's got cat-like moves. There's nobody who's like him right now. Even now, nobody stands on their
There's never
toes.
been anyone like him before or since. There's never
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
never been. He is. I mean, I think he's in the top 5. No one likes to give him that credit. Dude, Ric Flair was like shitting. I've listened to old Ric Flair podcast. He's shitting on Savage that he wasn't very good. And I'm like, dude, you're not very good. Shut the fuck up. Like,
Oh, you know what? If you had to ask me who's better, Randy Savage or Ric Flair, me, in my opinion, hands down, Randy Savage.
not even close, Randy Savage. 110%.
Randy
I
Savage is way better than Ric
I
Flair.
think the reason why people don't is because when Vince decides that you're being erased, you're erased. It doesn't matter who you are.
Yes, yes, that's true.
Vince decided that this guy, and he did it in a way. He did it in a way that like really got people to forget about him. And, the older
That's why
fans,
people forgot about Demolition, even though they're fucking fantastic.
yeah, and Luger, everyone thinks that Luger was a horrible worker because Vince
Yeah,
decided. To put it out
dude. Everybody who's probably listening to be like, "Oh, you guys are wrong," dude. Put your money where your mouth is. Watch their fucking matches in their prime, and you tell me that they fucking stink. I fucking dare you to tell me that they stink. Luger's great. Savage is better than Flair, and the fucking
Warrior's
Demolition.
pretty good. Warrior's not the fucking shitty worker.
He's not the shits. He's not the shits.
He he's good. I saw these fans. I hate. You know what I hate about fans now? Like fans will talk like they're fucking executives at WWE. Like they go like, Jade Cargill needs to go to the Performance Center, and I agree with some of that. But the other thing I want to say about Jade Cargill, but if they made Warrior go to the Performance Center, if they had one back then, and they were like, you're gonna wrestle just like Rick Rude and these 9 other guys, it would have taken away everything that was special about Warrior. I'm glad Warrior doesn't know how to wrestle because it makes him stand out. And there's certain things I do think Jade Cargill needs more training, but there's certain things that Jade does. Why is everybody so excited about her going to WWE? She must be doing something right. So,
Yeah.
why are we going to beat that
Remember
out
her
of her?
frog splash? I think it's amazing looking frog splash.
Yeah, why are we going to beat that out of her? Yes, she does need some seasoning. Yes, she does need a little bit of fine tuning. But also, like, not everybody needs to be a perfect fucking worker. And it's just boring. It's boring if everyone's the
Guess
same.
what? Jade Cargill can't sell. Then don't let her sell. Let her be a fucking like killer in the ring, and she never fucking sells, dude.
Dude,
Like
people are so
why make
pumped for
her
her.
do something she's not good at? Right?
People are.
When she looks like that.
I'm shocked at how excited people are for her coming over. People are really excited, and I'm not one of them. But there are people.
I'm not one of them either. I think it's better for her if she goes, but I could care less if she comes over.
Yeah, but I do think
actually more excited for Richard Holiday coming over if he comes over. I like Richard Holiday. The guy he was battling cancer. MJF, when he was in MLW, he was a part of a stable called the Dynasty, right? It's 3 guys. And MJF went on to become AEW champion, and the third guy, Alexander Hammerstone, he ended up being the champion and kind of like the man in MLW. Richard Holiday is the third man in that group, or second man, or whatever, who didn't go anywhere. But the reason why is because he had cancer and he was battling it for like 2 years. And he finally beat it. And I'm like, you know what, dude? You go fucking finish your story. Do the Cody Rhodes thing, So I want this guy to fucking go to WWE, get his chance.
that would be cool. But
they'll be like the Indie Shield. Like all 3 guys become champions.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I don't think they're gonna do it though.
Yeah. You know what else doesn't do it for me? The second match.
Oh,
Barbarian
really?
with Bobby Heenan versus the Big Boss Man.
Yes.
Oh, okay. You didn't like this much either, right?
No, I liked it.
Oh man, this
I've
one's
always
hard
liked
to get
this
into.
match.
So Boss Man, he runs in, he scares everyone out of the ring, and fucking Gorilla Monsoon. Like, so Boss Man does his thing. He runs into the ring and he fucking pulls out his nightsticks. So everyone is scared and he jump out of the ring. And Gorilla Monsoon's like, "Oh, Bobby Heenan's scared to death." And Piper goes, "It's either that or the heartbreak of psoriasis." And I was like, "What the
That's a reference that Bobby Heenan was drinking a lot. That's probably like he that's his psoriasis kicking in because he's a drunk.
But that doesn't make any sense.
He's
still.
making fun of Bobby Heenan that he's a drunk.
Oh, well, it didn't make any sense. It just
I
didn't,
know.
because I had to look this up. The heartbreak of psoriasis was an ad they used to do for psoriasis. They did the heartbreak of psoriasis that there isn't a cure, but psoriasis is like scaly fucking skin. What does being scared to death have anything to do with having like scaly skin? It makes no sense. It's
Because he's
stupid.
on drugs, dude. Everything you like I don't understand why this guy said this. It was cocaine and heroin. That's why he said it. So there you go. That's the
I
explanation.
just the more these shows we watch, the more I hate Roddy Piper. I can't explain it. I just like it's. I'll tell you one person these watching these rewatches are rooting for me. It's Roddy Piper, dude.
Yeah.
I swear to God, it's like
And Ric Flair to a certain extent.
nah, he gets like I can't fault him because
He
a lot of it's bad booking. A
a
lot of
lot
it's
of it's
bad.
bad booking, but yeah, but when the booking is good, he delivers. Like with Sting and with Steve.
Yeah.
He's
See,
not like the end all be all.
this is why I know Randy Savage is better than Flair. It's because Flair is good when all the pieces are in place. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? When it's not, he kind of falls apart. Where I feel like Savage, you could give him like dog shit, like with the Dusty Rhodes thing with the fucking Sapphire, and he still performs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's why, yeah. Anyways, this match is not performing for me. It's I can't get into it.
I like it.
Basically, Boss Man he hangs up Barbarian on the top rope for the cover. Ref stops it for some reason. There's no kick out or anything. And I'm like, why did he do that? And I think what happened was Barbarian was supposed to put his uh foot on the rope, but Boss Man stupidly, he hooked the wrong fucking leg, so he couldn't do that. And the reason why I think this is because as this match is happening, they do this spot like two times where the guys has him beat and he's got him covered, but then he puts his feet on the rope. They do this like two times because they're supposed to be back and forth. And I think that first time they were supposed to do it, they fucked it up. But it really takes me out of the match because the ref just stops counting. There's no fucking kick out. Basically, though, at the finish comes when Barbarian does a crossbody from the top and Boss Man reverses it in for a cover for the win. Tell me why you like this match.
I just think it's two big guys beating the shit out of each other, and I liked it as a kid. When I was a kid, I was really into the storyline of Boss Man going through the Heenan family to get to Heenan because Heenan was shitting on his mom. Heenan's jokes about his mom really funny. I was invested, and I think this is Barbarian's best match. I mean, it's like how Big E goes, they just want two big men slapping meat. That's what these two guys are doing. They're slapping meat, brother. I think not everything's going to be a 5-star classic, especially in old school WWE. This was two guys just beating the shit out of each other.
I've seen better meat slapping matches.
Well, yeah. Well, we had a really good one with Miro versus Hobbs at the last AEW pay-per-view, but
yeah.
Mm-hmm. No, I liked it. I know you didn't like it, but I enjoyed it. Listen, I don't like Barbarian matches. This is my favorite Barbarian match. So
I like both guys. This match just didn't do it for me, but it's okay. It wasn't the worst match either. No, the worst match would be Carlos Colon versus Abdul the Butcher. Starcade, I don't know, like 84. Sean Mooney, 83. Sean Mooney, he is with General Adnan and Sergeant Slaughter, and he's cutting a promo on the Ultimate Puke. He calls him the Ultimate Puke multiple times because I think to him it's catchy. I'll tell you something about this promo that I fucking hate. They keep switching the fucking camera angle.
They always did that with
Slaughter, and Slaughter has to keep turning. This is not his fault. You could tell he's cutting his promo and he's in it, and then you could tell somebody signals him because all of a sudden he just like fucking jumps, and it's like, why do you guys make him do this? Like,
I don't know, but the Ultimate Puke.
The Ultimate Puke. I like that.
And then we call Hogan the Pukester.
Mean Gene does a promo interview with Ultimate Warrior, Ultimate Puke. I mean,
did you notice Warrior's not screaming and yelling?
No, he doesn't. He responds, but also basically says nothing. It was not.
But like, I noticed that about Warrior, and I'm like, I wonder if Vince said to him, "Stop screaming and yelling and carrying on." because he didn't
But
do
he
it.
also didn't do the thing where his like back's to the camera.
Yeah, he didn't do anything weird. It was like,
He didn't do anything Ultimate Warrior-y, which I didn't like. Yeah, you
yeah,
know.
I almost feel like Vince is like directed him to stop doing it.
You think so, or do you think like because he found out he's losing, he's just like not in the mood?
No, I think Vince is directing him to like start acting more normal,
Oh,
which
or
is
acting.
which again takes away from the character. But
Yes, yes, yes. You're. I
because
agree with
there's a
you.
moment coming up that it feels like Vince is telling Gorilla and Roddy Piper directly what to say. And I feel like this was another. I feel like Sherry Vince is telling her you have to do this fucking word for word, and I felt like this Warrior promo was the same thing, where it's like
Okay,
he's like you have to act like this.
there's a very good chance that that is a possibility, and we're gonna get right into this match. That's right. This is the WWE
So
Championship match.
before we get into this match,
Yes.
this is the moment where I felt like Vince is screaming at Gorilla and Roddy Piper. They go, Slaughter's viewpoints do not reflect the WWE nor Arab Americans all throughout the country. And then Roddy Piper goes, however, this is America, and we can say whatever we want, and Sergeant Slaughter can say whatever he wants. And that's why the soldiers are fighting over in Iraq to protect the rights of even people like Sergeant Slaughter to say that, fuck the troops. So if you think about it, Slaughter is actually like a great American because he's shitting on America, but that's what we're fighting for, and this is America. And the great thing about America is Ultimate Warrior can beat up Sergeant Slaughter. So actually, it's great that Sergeant Slaughter is just shitting on these troops. Did you notice that?
That totally sounds like this is what you're gonna say from Vince McMahon. Absolutely. From Junior.
Yeah, because Roddy Piper keeps emphasizing like Sergeant Slaughter could say this. I don't like it, but he can say this because this is a great country and we can say whatever we want. And it was just like,
this is a very touchy subject. You know,
I feel like Vince
people,
has a gun to like Roddy Piper said, like, stop with the jokes. This is what you're gonna fucking like. Like suddenly Roddy Piper got really in focus.
yes. Because yeah, this is like a very touchy subject. You know, people, this is an actual fucking war. You know,
Mm-hmm.
so yeah, this is a championship match, but it's right in the middle of the fucking card. Match number 3: Sergeant Slaughter with General Adnan versus the WF champion Ultimate Puke, who runs in and they just start fighting right away. And they have the Warrior get the fucking Iraqi flag and he breaks it, and people are going crazy for this flag to break. And then he starts using the piece of the fucking flag staff on fucking Sergeant Slaughter, and there's no DQ. It's fine. Sherry runs down ringside and she tries tripping up the Puke. And he gets all mad and he starts chasing her, and they chase her up the aisle. And the aisle is very different than it is now. It's not as
Dark,
brightly
very
lit.
dark.
It's very dark. And out of nowhere, you just Savage just comes out of nowhere
Savage.
and fucking Pearl Harbors this fucking guy and just like hits him on the entranceway. And remember, it's bad lighting. It's like you really couldn't tell. He just came out of nowhere. You didn't. It's so dark, and it's brilliant because there's no way the ref can see this.
Yeah,
It's so dark.
Slaughter's distracting the ref.
And Slaughter's distracting the ref. Absolutely. I mean, but
They
Savage.
do a really good job of making sure the ref never sees all the insanity going on.
Yes, yes, and
whereas nowadays the ref would just be standing there looking at this, being like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah, and there was also like a giant Titantron that shows everything.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, now you gotta make sure you don't face Titantron. But this one, you can watch this and really go like, dude, there's no way the ref saw this. It's just too far away. It's too dark, and it's quick. It's a very quick attack. He comes in, fucking hits the guy, picks up a fucking like lighting thing.
Oh, dude, yeah.
Throws it on him, and there's no standing around gloating, posturing for the camera.
No, because he knows if he's seen, Slaughter's gonna get disqualified, and it's now Savage is like, I don't give a fuck about the title. I just want Warrior to lose.
Yeah. In fact, he as soon as he does, he just runs away. And it's so fast that you can easily say, you could be like, I don't think it was Savage. It was somebody in Savage's outfit, right? It's so quick. They should do this more often where people just stop posturing, just do it, and then just fucking run out, you know? And you're like, holy shit. Anyways, he's hurt. And the puke is trying to crawl back to the ring, really selling it. And if anybody says he can't sell, you gotta watch this. The puke can sell.
The puke is
And the
selling
ref,
this match, baby.
yeah, the ref's counting, and Sarge just stops the referee from counting every fucking time. And it's brilliant. And Piper, to his credit, goes, the title's not gonna change if he gets a count out.
Yeah.
That's why he's stopping the count out. In a way, it's smart. And it is. And there's a loud USA chant going on because people are into this. They're into
Slaughter,
a sympathetic puke.
even though they're not like together, Slaughter and Savage are working in tandem whenever they can to fuck this guy.
Mm-hmm.
It also makes this match so good.
Yes, this would it really gets people into it because it's like
this is how they should have beat Goldberg back in the day. This is how you outwit like a powerful babyface without hurting him. Because like he gets so much damage, it's plausible that Slaughter pins him. You know?
Yeah, dude. Like this, you're absolutely right. Not only is this guy getting attacked by another man, but he's getting hit with like foreign objects. You know, and he has to like show it's affected him like this, where he's crawling to the ring. You know, he's not just getting up and taking a suplex. Like him getting into the ring itself is fucking a struggle.
Yeah.
Anyway, when he finally gets in the ring, well, Savage throws him. I mean, not Savage. Sergeant Slaughter throws him into the ring, and then he puts the camel clutch on him and applies it. However, Warrior's feet are dangling outside the ring. So the referee, even though Warrior passes out, the ref's like, no. His feet are outside the ring, so that shit don't count. Match continues. And all of a sudden, the puke channels a Native American spirit, and he starts hulking up, right? Because it's a Native American gimmick, right? So, Sherry comes out again, right? Because they didn't foil him. He's still got this power. And she gets up on the apron, and the puke fucking like grabs her, pulls her into the ring, she takes like a bump, and then he fucking body presses her. And Savage has run down. But remember, when Sherry came down, I should mention, she put the scepter. Remember, he's Macho King out on the apron. The scepter's still on the apron, but he picks up Sherry. And when Savage comes down, he fucking throws her out of the ring into fucking Savage. That could have been disastrous, bro. Do you know how dangerous that is?
Sherry took bumps, dude, that no woman would take nowadays. She just fucking went for it, bro.
Yeah. They don't. I really don't see these kind of bumps anymore, where you just pick up the fucking woman and you just fucking throw her out the ring and expect one dude.
Women are not. These women, and I know this sounds terrible. These women are not as tough as Sherry. I think Sherry. If you had said to Sherry, "We're gonna throw you off the Hell in a Cell," she would have been like, "Okay."
Yeah, I think so. I agree. But this is why she had back problems. Mm-hmm. Remember, she had really bad physical problems as she got older. Yeah. But yeah, remember, here's the thing too. Only one guy caught her. Nowadays, if you do something like that, there's a bunch of people getting ready. This was one dude catching her.
It was Savage, so you know he's
so dangerous, but nobody got hurt in this.
You know, like there were house shows, because I remember like after this, there's house shows where Warrior rams her head into the cage. She has cage matches with Slaughter. Because I remember one of the Black White magazines complained about it. They're like, WWE is so disgusting. And apparently, like, she would cost him the match, Slaughter get out of the cage, and then he would just ram her back and forth into the cage.
Jesus, man. Yeah, you would not. Yeah, this is obviously a different time. Yeah, this is all this shit you would not fly.
Dude, she's like, she's like the size of like what, Candice LeRae or something?
Yeah, she's very small. Yeah,
imagine Candice LeRae just getting hammered.
Imagine it would be like Bronson Reed picks her up and just throws her out the ring, just like chucks her, just like fucking here.
But I think if you have somebody like Savage catching you, you're probably safer than like.
Oh shit! There's a bug in my house. Oh,
it's the spirit of the warrior.
Yeah, it's the spirit of. I gotta kill it. It's just an ant, but it's.
Mm-hmm. So he's making sure the ant gets job.
Oh, fucking
right there, brother.
The ant, I fucking finally got it. Anyways, just like how I was distracted, the ref gets distracted by Sergeant Slaughter. Mm-hmm. And while the ref is distracted, Savage is able to grab the scepter.
Oh, he hit so fucking.
Sherry left neighbor, and he fucking cracks that fucking thing on Warrior's head. Like,
Dude,
cracks it.
that was a hell of a hit. That was fucking great, dude.
Dude, if somebody chucked the woman at me, I would 100% hit him hard.
But dude, that's how you stop an unstoppable monster. Like,
yeah,
really, if he didn't go that hard, it would have been like, oh, Warrior loses. But like, that's how you stop the Ultimate Warrior.
yeah. Hits him on the side of the head. It cracks open. There is no finishing move. Sarge just covers the fucker for the win.
With like a shitty elbow, which is
yeah. There is a loud bullshit chant.
And also chant for Hogan. Chant for Hogan. Did you notice there was a Hogan chant?
Oh, I didn't notice the Hogan chant, but I did hear the loud bullshit chant. Yeah. And Warrior just gets up and he attacks Sergeant Slaughter. No, he just runs out of the ring like a
runs the Savage because he's like
to me it just looked like he just got up and just ran.
No, he went to go get Savage. Savage.
Yeah. Ultimately, he's gonna go there for Savage
because that's where they're going for WrestleMania is Warrior Savage.
It was just funny how he doesn't attack Savage as Sergeant Slaughter. He just runs out. He just gets up and runs out of the ring.
He knows I would have beat Slaughter. It's because of Savage I didn't beat Slaughter. So like my beef is with Savage. This was better than I remembered, and I remember it being really fucking good. This was such a great clusterfuck, unexpected match. It was just, if you're gonna have Slaughter get the belt, this was the perfect way to do it. I don't know a better way to give this version of Sergeant Slaughter the title of 1991 than this match. What a fucking performance. You know what it
is? It's not a good match as far as wrestling standards goes, but it's a great match.
Storytelling.
That's storytelling, absolutely. If you're looking for a good storytelling match, this is it right here. Like if you're invested because of the shit that's happening, that's not athleticism at all. You know?
Like if you tell me in April of 1990, WrestleMania 6, Warrior's gonna lose the belt to Sergeant Slaughter, I'd be like, you're out of your fucking mind. You're out of your fucking mind. And the way they did it at the end, you're like, okay, that was fucking good. You somehow pulled it off, and you got Savage. You somehow pulled it off. All right, I'll give you credit. Yeah, man, I love this match as a kid. The reason why I think they did it so early was because I think they knew we're gonna get a pop with Virgil, and we don't want to put this right before the Rumble because what if this completely kills the crowd? But this guy. So because the crowd is dead for the mounting match, which is good because nobody, the mounting match was just there to basically to make sure everyone had time to go take a shit. I think it was smart placement of this match. Because
and Sergeant Slaughter, he really isn't a good wrestler.
No,
he's actually pretty terrible.
But he was good at this.
He was good at storytelling. Yeah, he's good at getting like a lot of heat. There's doing cowardice moves. By the way, Ultimate Warrior, I believe this is the only championship, world championship he's going to hold in WWF.
Anywhere. Last time he holds the belt anywhere.
Oh, he held it for 293 days. Close to a year. It's not like he only held it for a couple of months. So that's still a decent run. I think. Yeah,
man. Decent run. I do think he would have got it back if he had stuck around. But
I agree. Yeah.
But it was shocking to me because he's like one of the WWE champions of my childhood, and it was shocking to me to realize I wasn't, because I turned 10 January 25th, 1991. I wasn't even 10 years old, and he never holds the belt again. He just never even touches that belt. And to me, it felt, I don't know, it just was crazy to really realize when he walks out, he never touches his belt again. That's fucking crazy to me.
I don't know why, but when I was a kid growing up, I thought he held the belt at least 2-3 times. But he feels
like a guy who is one of the, how Randy Orton, John Cena always trade the belts. They seem like they always have. He felt like he was one of those guys. He only held it for not that long. But hey, man, I think it was a good reign. I mean,
Dude, 293 days is a very long reign. You're literally about 2.5 months shy of a year.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. What else is good is this WrestleMania 7 promo by Junior. I fucking love it, dude. He's
Oh,
just getting
that's also not on the DVD.
really wow. It sounds like you know what he sounds like. He sounds like those like monster truck guys, those
Yes.
monster truck commercials. And I think the concept of monster trucks, going to watch monster trucks, is kind of stupid. But when I was a kid and I used to watch these commercials, I used to be like, it used to like I couldn't keep my eyes off because the guy made it sound so exciting, and that's what like Vince McMahon's voice is when he does these promos. You know, like I I'm excited because he's excited. You know, it's great.
Yeah.
We're gonna go to match number 4, which is not exciting. It is Coco
It
Beware
wasn't supposed to
versus
be.
the Mountie with Jimmy Hart. Mountie comes out without the famous Mountie song that he sings. So this is interesting. I was like, oh shit, I don't know when will they put the song in?
Oh, they put it like only 2 weeks after this or so.
2 weeks after this. Okay, yeah. Um, Piper on commentary in this match says he's gonna buy the returning soldiers some skim milk.
But
Okay.
by
Coco
the soldiers,
Beware. To Coco's credit in this match, yeah, I know this is a throwaway match, but like Coco takes like a fucking big bump outside the ring. He fucking goes over the top rope and he fucking falls to the floor. He could go. Coco could still go, you know? He
no,
even does like that drop kick where from the missile drop kick from the top and he just lands on his feet, you
yeah,
know?
it's fucking
Yeah, he
right.
can go. Yeah. There is a point in this match, I don't know if you noticed, where Coco Beware is on his hands and knees and the Mountie gets behind him and it looks like the Mountie just grabs him by the balls. Did he
Oh,
grab him by the balls?
I didn't notice that.
Oh, he just like Coco's on his hands and knees, and the Monty gets behind him, and he fucking puts his hand like underneath between his legs, and Coco goes like, ah! And I thought like, did he just grab his fucking balls? And it's
Maybe
really weird.
Coco Beware has such big balls that like it hurts.
Maybe, yeah. Anyways,
That
well,
noise you. It sounds like he's getting fucked by the Mountie.
yeah, he does, dude. He does scream when he fucking grabs him. Anyways, the Mountie always gets his balls, I guess. Well, the finish comes when Coco's running the ropes and Mountie kind of like catches him for like a semi choke slam for the win. Yeah, it is what I actually like this better than the fucking Big Boss Man Barbarian match.
No, I remember. So do they acknowledge that there's an intermission after this match or no?
No, they do not.
Okay, so in the original broadcast, there's an intermission after this match, but I think like the purpose of this match was no one let just have this little match, let everybody go get popcorn, go fucking decompress after what just happened,
Hmm.
and then we're really like this is a break. Like you had like, and I know you like the Boston match, but in theory, like you had 3 exciting matches with these big. You had this big angle. We're just taking that. And I remember like while this match was happening, like we were like eating pizza and stuff. Like we weren't even we like kind of took a break from actually watching the show. So it was smart placement to have this match there.
Yeah, they don't mention that they're doing intermission, but they're basically having intermission because we're just gonna get a whole bunch of segments in a row.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Mooney, he is with Randy Savage and Sherry Martel, and they're saying we let the fucking warrior, we left him crying, and he should have fucking committed to letting me fucking get a title shot. But this is what fucking happens, and then all of a sudden he can't even finish it because there's a fucking banging at their dressing room door. It's the fucking puke, the ultimate puke. So they fucking run away. Then Mean Gene, he is with the new WWF champion Sergeant Slaughter with General Adnan, and they fucking cut a promo. And General Adnan, he's so happy, he fucking takes off his Durka, and he fucking hugs him. They're all super happy. Then they show you some fans who are giving well wishes to the soldiers. They're saying, you know, their messages to the soldiers. And then they mention that Hulk Hogan was supposed to do a tour of Saudi Arabia, but it's too dangerous. So instead, he's going to do a tour of all the U.S. bases.
So I heard that they made that up. He was never going to Saudi Arabia, but they just
Yeah,
saying
I figured that too. Yeah, I figured that too. Dude, just hearing that, it totally sounded bullshit. It sounded like bullshit. Like that doesn't make sense. Why the fuck would you be touring there? Like, Just you? Like, what the fuck does that mean? Like, why? That doesn't make any sense.
He's gonna go see the troops to let them know that he's gonna. They did. By the way, he did go visit the troops though. That footage was on TV and it was in the magazine. So he does go to these USO bases.
Oh, okay. So he does go to the U.S. bases. Yeah, that
Yeah,
makes sense. Yeah.
yeah. Well, that was good because what they were building, and then the big angle over the summer is he has boot camp matches with Slaughter. So, like, yeah, it made sense for him to be like, hey, troops, I'm gonna win the belt back for America, brother.
Yeah. Did he take the Lex Express?
No, he didn't. Lex
Oh,
was using that with Stan Hansen to do cocaine.
oh.
Right. But Lex,
Um,
dude,
then
when we get to that, we'll get to that.
okay. Wait, Stan Hansen does cocaine?
They all do cocaine, bro.
Oh,
Like
they all do
Seth
cocaine.
Rollins
Yeah,
probably doing it right now after watching
yeah.
NXT.
You know what? Right after that, they start doing each fucking star does a Royal Rumble promo, and you could tell that some of them definitely do cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
We get Jake Roberts promo, a fucking earthquake rocking back and forth promo, Greg the Hammer Valentine promo, Texas Tornado, Legion of Doom, Undertaker, Brother Love. By the way, when they did this Brother Love Undertaker promo, the visual of this Brother Love, this religious guy who's dressed in all white, standing next to this bigger dark guy, visually that does look good.
Yeah,
You
no,
know?
it does. I like Brother Love with Undertaker if Undertaker's a heel more than Paul Bearer because it's kind of like Brother Love's a shitty like a shitty little worm, but now he has the ultimate backup, so you can never tell him to shut up because look at the
Yeah.
backup.
It almost feels like a Spawn character, these two, you know?
Yeah,
Or
it really it feels like it does. It feels almost like a Batman
yeah,
team.
yeah.
A Batman. It's a
I
good.
don't know when you're seeing them like in the debut in the Survivor Series. It's I don't know what it is, but it didn't really like. I couldn't really visual. I couldn't see what they were going for. But in this promo work, he's just doing all the talking, and
Mhm.
then Undertaker says "resting in peace" at the end, and just the visual of them
And
standing
then
there.
and then
You know what?
other
It look. It almost looks like he's a shadow. You
yeah.
know, it's
And
great.
and Brother Love, you can tell like he has his confidence now. Like I was just a goofy guy on this show, and you all
Yeah,
thought I was an idiot. But look who I have now. You can't fuck with me. It was a
yeah,
very Paul Heyman thing almost with Brock Lesnar.
yes, you're
And I
right. Yeah,
kind of wish, and Bruce Pritchard wanted to, in hindsight, because he got fired right after, he wanted to focus more on the behind the scenes. But I do wish I like Paul Bearer. I don't love Paul Bearer, and I know that you're not supposed to say that. You're supposed to be like Paul Bearer was the greatest, but I kind of thought Paul Bearer
Paul
like
Bearer was the greatest at eating cake backstage.
it kind of made a little bit too cheesy. The Undertaker thing,
Yeah, because Paul Bearer, I
too on
always
the
found
nose.
he was so goofy to me. The faces he was making and the
Yeah,
voice he was using. I
yeah.
always thought he was hilarious. I never thought he was scary at all. I always thought he was hilarious.
And Brother
Um,
Love is more, yeah, exactly. And Brother Love is more like Undertaker's my henchman. And
yeah, yeah. And Brother Love is not goofy. He's more annoying. But when you see him with this guy, there's like a
feels like a
sinister
mob boss.
aspect
He's
of
like a
it.
mob boss with his like now I'm
Or
like
like an actual real sinister minister, you know,
yeah,
without
it's
being
good. It's good.
yeah, yeah. I like the yeah, you're right. Yeah. I think you said he got fired right after this or something?
He goes, I don't want to be on TV as much, so they have Ultimate Warrior beat up Brother Love. They do Brother Love sells the contract to Paul Bearer, and then he gets beat up by Warrior, and then like nobody liked him. Like people said he was an asshole to work with. So Vince like nobody likes working with you, so you're fired. And then he came
Mm.
back at the end of '92. But I guarantee if he had stayed as the Undertaker's manager, I don't think he would. But also, I think also Vince gave him a choice. You can be Undertaker's full time manager, or you can work behind the scenes.
Mm. Yeah.
And I guess, I mean, he's still there, and he
Yeah,
probably.
no, he made the right choice. No, he
But
100% made that
I
right choice.
think I like, and nobody will ever agree with us on this, but I like Undertaker better for the Logan Paul Bearer. So
I think if they did keep going with it, it would have definitely caught on, you
yeah,
know?
yeah.
Yeah, it would have caught on. Yeah, so more people are doing their Royal Rumble promos. Jim Duggan, the model, Rick Martel, Bush Bulldog, Mr. Perfect, Tugboat. Not everybody, but the people who are really like characters,
Yeah.
right? And I like that they do this because they're just like, we need to show that everybody's got a different personality,
Mhm.
and they put all these characters doing the promo, and I think that's great. This is why like Bret Hart's not cutting a promo. No offense, but it's not gonna be Bret Hart. It's got to be like the fucking Bulldog and fucking Mr. Perfect and the model and the tugboat goes. "Ooh, ooh." That's we need a
We need
gimmick
more
like that
tugboat.
back again. We need like we like that girl who goes yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Just somebody making fucking sound effects is just hilarious, dude.
That's wrestling, bro.
Yeah, man. John Mooney. He is with DiBiase and Virgil, and they're cutting a promo on Dusty and Dustin Rhodes. And while DiBiase's cutting a promo, he's like indirectly fucking insulting Virgil, a very sweaty Virgil who looks pissed. As DiBiase's going like, "Yeah, Virgil and I can fucking beat the Rhodes because Virgil does everything I say. He fucking cleans my feet. He fucking washes my feet. You know that? Like I tell him to fucking like massage my feet, and he does it." And you can see like Virgil's getting annoyed that he's saying this, and it's gonna go to match number 5: Dusty and Dustin Rhodes
So,
versus
so to give you
what?
some background
Yeah, give me some background while I get my Dusty.
on the show, they were doing vignettes because Sapphire went away, but they were doing vignettes where Ted DiBiase was being like, "I actually have a better bond with Virgil than you have." Oh, there you go, your Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah, I love this.
Although he's no longer wearing the polka dots here.
No, he's not, but I gotta wear
Um,
this in the
like
Dusty.
I have a better bond with Virgil than you have with your son. We're a better team. And he's like Virgil, and you see him cleaning shit off DiBiase's shoe, and like he has Virgil doing these humiliating things. I mean, like he'll do whatever I want. And then this was on Super. They would cut to Roddy Piper being like, I'm really tired of Virgil being treated like this. I don't know if you guys know this, but Virgil's actually he actually is a pro wrestler and he was a boxer. He's not just the servant, and I feel like he could really be a really good wrestler if he believed in himself. So they're building this thing where Piper is like, no, dude, you could actually you could wrestle. You don't need to do this. So it's building that Virgil's going to do something to DiBiase.
And to Piper's credit, like you said, like he did pretty well in this match. During commentary, they do talk about like, hey, I took Virgil out for dinner and we had a good talk. And like Piper's really
He's really
biased,
putting over Virgil.
very biased and very towards Virgil in this match. And it's good though. It is good. It
But
does
it's
play out.
setting up this storyline because as a kid, again, you just think Virgil's just always just going to be standing there, and now there's a possibility of Virgil could turn on DiBiase, and you're like, well, actually, I would like to see that. Like I didn't know Virgil is actually because they're telling you he's a good wrestler. He wasn't, but
Mhm.
I didn't know Virgil could be a good wrestler. I wonder what's going to happen. And so I met Virgil at Caroline's. He's an annoying fucking idiot. He's a fucking idiot, Virgil.
I believe that.
I'll tell you what, man. He was a fucking star at the 1991 Rumble. This was a great match and a great angle.
This was always supposed to happen, right? Because okay, a rich white guy, black manservant. Obviously, it's very right on the nose what visuals this gives you, right? Slavery. And everybody knows, yeah, slavery is a fucking shitty thing. So this was everybody, I think, was waiting for that moment that fucking Virgil, emancipates himself, right? Just
Yeah.
fucking frees himself. It was building. I even when I was a kid and I used to watch Virgil with Tia DiBiase, I was like, man, I want this guy to fucking like leave DiBiase. I was like, I want this guy to fucking like, because Virgil had huge arms.
Yeah.
He was,
You're wondering like,
he
well,
had
how
bigger
good
arms
can
than
this guy
DiBiase.
be?
Yeah, he had bigger arms than DiBiase, and I was always like, man, I want this guy to fucking leave DiBiase. I want him to kick his face in or something like that. And so I know I'm not the only one who felt that way. We all felt that way. We all saw it.
They,
We all wanted it.
they
So
milked it long enough to where there was a point where you kind of thought, well, it's never going to happen. And then when
yes,
they did it, you like,
uh,
wait a minute, this is actually going to happen. And it made it so much fucking better.
that's a very good point. That I don't think people do stuff like that anymore.
Mhm.
They did it so long that just never thought it was going to happen. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. So that the payoff is that when it happens, it just blows your fucking
So
mind.
tonight, this was the biggest pop in that apartment with those kids. We all fucking went nuts for when Virgil hit DiBiase. And watching it back, I mean, I know we're jumping ahead to the end of this match. Watching it back, man, with the production, the way the camera like is on, Vince McMahon really went all out to try to make Virgil a fucking star tonight.
Yeah.
You can never.
And I mean,
Virgil will always have this night, man.
I was a fan of his even after this for a while.
Dude, even like knowing like what an annoying guy he is and how rude he is, like what I was still excited now. That's how good this angle was.
Oh yeah, this is a very good angle.
So
So
let's break down the match because I'll tell you who was not excited. Dusty Rhodes. He could not wait to get the fuck out of there.
yeah, Dusty Rhodes wasn't into this match, which is a shame because like he's teaming with his son, and like I get it, they're not the focal point of this match, but it's still pretty cool that he's working with his son. And the story of this match is like in the beginning, Virgil was like kind of fucking up, and the Rhodes are getting the best of him, and DiBiase's getting annoyed, slapping him in the face at a point. And then DiBiase goes, you know what? Give me the fucking tag. I'm actually going to show you how to do it. All right. He gets in there and he starts beating on Dustin Rhodes, beating on Dustin Rhodes, beating on Dustin Rhodes. And they're double teaming him every once in a while. And then finally, there's a point where DiBiase's holding up Dustin, and Virgil goes to hit Dustin. Dustin ducks and he hits fucking DiBiase. DiBiase goes down. Virgil's like, oh shit, oh man, my bad, my bad. And he turns around and fucking DiBiase gets up and starts beating on Virgil.
Yeah, like having like a match.
Yeah, like not like when tag teams have a mistaken hit and they shove each other back and forth. Like he just gets up and just starts wailing on this fucking guy. But that's enough of a distraction that Dusty Rhodes is fucking comes up from behind and starts beating on DiBiase. And there's a point where he Irish whips DiBiase into the corner, and then fucking Dustin starts running. DiBiase ducks, and Dustin runs, boom, smack into the turnbuckle, and then DiBiase rolls him up for a win. So I was like, what the fuck? DiBiase still won.
Yeah.
As soon as this match,
because they Dusty left. This was his last match.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Dusty. So as soon as this match is over, Dusty goes outside the ring because his son's hurt his legs. So but then they just walk out, and then DiBiase gets in the mic and he goes, Virgil, get in this ring and put the fucking belt on. Put it on me. And Virgil gets in the ring. He's holding up the fucking $1 million belt. Remember, he just got his ass kicked by this man. This man kicked his ass from behind. It's a cowardly thing to do. He hit him from behind too. And he's like, yeah, hurry up and put the fucking belt on me. And Virgil just fucking throws the belt down the ring. And the fucking fans are fucking going crazy. And then DiBiase goes, are you fucking serious? Think about your family. Think about your mom.
Yeah, need I remind you about your mother?
Yeah. And he threatens his family, and he goes, you better pick up that fucking belt. And fucking Virgil goes down, he picks the belt, and everyone goes, oh, yeah, of course. And DiBiase turns around, he's like, see, everyone's got a price. He turns back around, and fucking Virgil clocks him with the $1 million belt. The crowd, they go insane. They legit just go insane. They show like Virgil like looking out into the stands like he's never been cheered ever in his entire life. Like, it's foreign to him. Like he's like in awe of like people cheering at him. Dude, people give him a standing ovation. They literally are standing.
Dude, we were standing. It's one of the best face turns they've ever done. And like if Virgil had any talent, he would have been like the next dude. It's like it's crazy. It's like he makes Virgil into a top star in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
It seems like that. When that night ended, I would have said like, oh, one day Virgil's gonna win the belt. Like,
yeah, that's too bad. Really too bad. See, man, like this is the thing with like when like when people
when
nowadays
Vince decides that
like,
you're gonna be a star, he fucking makes you a star, bro.
Well, to a certain point, but
well, But what
I
I'm
was
saying,
actually going to say what this actually does is, there's so many superstars where people are like, man, if he would just get behind this person, this guy would be a big star. And you go, why doesn't Junior get behind him? There's times where I think like he knows something about someone more than we do. Like
yeah,
he knows he's had too many Virgils
yeah,
in his whole life where guys he's given the ball to for them to just drop it. All
yeah,
right. And this is why I think in his later years, he became really, really fucking picky, you know?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
this is why he never gave the ball to Dolph Ziggler, right? Like, fully. This is
Or
why he
Carrier
never
Cross.
gave the belt. They never gave the fucking ball to, like, Damian Sandow or somebody.
Yeah,
Like, he knows he's had too many Virgils to know, like, when you're a Virgil, you know?
yeah. But like you realize when you see something like this, and we don't let's not put into account the future. We don't know he's going to go become Vincent in the NWO. We don't know he's going to annoy me at Caroline's. When you see something like this, you're like, if Vince wants to, he can make you into a fucking star in like 30 seconds with the camera shots, with directing the other guys to do, with the announcers. He can make you into like, this guy is now going to take on the world within 20, and he can also make you look an idiot within 20 seconds. But it's a really well done angle. It's one of my favorite angles of WWF. I
Yeah.
really love it.
And it's really sad because this was, let's be honest. Also, yeah, it was like a couple of seconds to make this guy star, but it was almost
Building.
like a lot of effort
It
was
was
put into
3
this.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet you he hated the fact that he put in so much effort into a guy who just fucking dropped it. You
Well, I mean,
know?
he keeps putting in effort. Remember, him and Ted DiBiase, they have a match at WrestleMania and SummerSlam. So,
Yeah, that's
but
true.
then soon after that, he turns him into a jobber.
Yeah.
The other thing was, this was Dusty Rhodes' last match in WWF. It is kind of funny. Like, we started this journey, and Dusty Rhodes is kind of like a big deal. He's kind of like the big boss at Starrcade '83, and now it's like he's an afterthought to get over Virgil, who was named Virgil. Remember, they named this guy Virgil as a rib on Dusty because Dusty's real name is Virgil,
Exactly. Yeah.
and he's being used as an app. So apparently, and this is what led to Goldust. This is why Dusty thought that he did Goldust. Vince, when Dusty goes, I'm leaving, I'm gonna go back to WCW, be the booker. He goes, you can leave, but I want your son. I want your son to stay. I want to make him a star. And Dusty was like, no, you can't have my son. He's coming to WCW. And Vince said to Dusty, you can take him now, but one day he's gonna come back to me, and I'm gonna turn him into a bigger star than you ever could. And that's, he thought that when he did call Vince for a job in the mid 90s, that this was his way of being like, you took him from me, and now I'm gonna look what I'm gonna do. Dusty thought the Goldust thing was, you didn't allow me to use him when I wanted him, so now look what I'm gonna do to him. You know what I'm saying? But he's still gonna be a bigger star than what you thought. But that was, apparently Vince said, one day I'm gonna take him from you. That's what Dusty claims Vince said.
Do you think Goldust was a bigger star than his dad?
I think Goldust was the biggest that Dustin ever was.
Yeah.
I think Goldust could have been WWF champion in '96, but they went a little too they went a little bit too hard on like the gay bash, and
Yeah.
a little bit too hard on gay phobia. If they had eased it up a little bit, and I think he could have been like the top heel.
If they did it more subtle, I
Mhm.
think, yeah. I think Goldust. I love the Goldust character. I
I
think
love it
he's
too. I'm excited. I'm excited for when we get to it.
yeah, I think he's still maybe not as big as his dad, but he's definitely a Hall of Famer. I would 100% say.
Oh yeah, he'll go in the
When
whole.
it's all said and done, he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. Yeah,
Once Tony Khan gets bored of him, he'll go back to WWE.
yeah, exactly. He's still putting out bangers in AEW.
I
When
mean,
they give him the
he's
ball,
teaming with Keith Lee, and he's in better shape than Keith Lee. So
yeah. Do you remember his match with CM Punk? I thought it was pretty good.
that was good. It was a waste of CM Punk, considering they only had a year with the guy. But yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah. But yeah. From one star to the next, we got Mean Gene with Hulk Hogan, the pukester.
The only guy that
And
beat Virgil.
Yeah, and Gene, while Hogan's doing his promo, Gene breaks up the promo and he goes, "Hey, by the way, sorry I have to interrupt, but we got breaking news. Sergeant Slaughter just defaced the American flag." That's the breaking news.
So they wanted to show that, and then they got cold feet. They wanted to have Sergeant Slaughter burn the American flag.
Oh, they wanted to show it.
Yeah.
Oh,
They got cold feet. And I think they were smart not to burn the American flag.
yes, I think that was very smart. Just saying it is fine, even though it's really cheesy, even just saying it.
It sounds like he took a dump on it.
Yeah, you know what they should have done was when they were interviewing Sergeant Slaughter when
He should have
he
broke out a
started
lighter.
championship. He should have brought out a lighter and say, "I'm going to burn. We don't want
And
to
then
do
they cut away.
celebration.
Cut away.
Yeah, I'm going to burn this American flag." And they go, "No way, no, cut the camera off." And they fucking cut it and they apologize. They go, "I can't believe Sergeant Slaughter did that." And
So
then they cut a promo where Hogan's responding to that. That's what they should have done. This is so stupid how he's like, "Hold on, I got breaking news."
you know what I feel like they did? I feel like they did film him burning the American flag, like they pre-taped it while the Virgin match going on, and then like they were like, "Yeah, we can't fucking do this. Like we can't." Like,
Yeah, they got cold feet. I agree.
yeah, and they didn't know how to, but they wanted to say that he did something.
Yes.
They had to have Mean Gene go like, with the way, dude, you know what it sounds like because they don't show it. It sounds like he's taking a dump on the. Oh, I'm taking a dump on the flag because, like, I don't know, he's defacing the flag. Like, what could he be doing to it? Peeing on it.
Well, after he takes
And then
his shit,
Hogan loses his train of thought too.
yeah, Hogan. It just angers Hogan that he gets flustered. Like
I'm talking about.
Like he gets flustered like twice in this promo. He fumbles through his words. This was not one of Hogan's best promos because but
I also think
this is a terrible segment, by the way.
I also think that Hogan was given verbiage by Vince to follow. I feel like a lot of the guys seem like out of their comfort zone. Mainly three: Sherry, Hogan, and Warrior. And I felt like that's because Vince is saying like you have to say this, shit exactly. You can't just go like, "What you gonna do, brother?" You know what I mean?
He should have been like, but the people love what you're gonna do, brother. I know, Huckster.
But we gotta sell these points for WrestleMania. Damn it!
Like, I don't do a pay per view without what you're gonna do, brother. That's my bread and butter.
But what am I gonna do, brother? If I can't say what you gonna do, brother?
Yeah, brother. That doesn't work for me, brother. I gotta say what you gotta do.
He does say it eventually.
Yeah. Anyway, brother, we're gonna go right into the main event.
The Royal fucking Rumble, brother.
The Royal Rumble. First out is Bret the Hitman Hart. Second man out is Dino Bravo. Let me tell you something. I was actually excited for this. You know why? Because Dino Bravo is the drizzling shits, and I wanted to see how good Bret the Hitman Hart actually is to work at least 2 minutes with this fucking 2 left foot fucking loser. And it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Bret could actually, even make this guy look like he's fucking competent. So yeah.
Bret's the man.
Bret Hart, yeah. Greg the Hammer Valentine comes in third and he throws away fucking Dino right away. Dino's the first man out.
Good riddance.
And what do you call it? They start fighting. Number 4 is Paul Roma. Number 5, Texas Tornado. 6, Rick the Model Martel. And then number 7, Saba Simba.
So I met Tony Atlas. He's a nice guy. I could tell, like, now that I know him, I talked to him, I could tell he was miserable doing this. This was so not him.
Oh yeah. So that's if you guys don't know, Tony Atlas, he's back in the company, but he's under a African gimmick. Like he's supposed to be like a member of like a Wakanda. His name's Saba Simba. He comes down with a fucking, I think, a spear and a shield, right?
Yeah, he would come out with his spear and a shield and a headdress that was aligned. And the story was Tony Atlas went to Africa and he rediscovered his roots. So he's paying tribute to his aunt. It's so fucking racist, dude.
Yeah, it is.
And Tony has said, Vince and Tony didn't like each other. And when Vince this is a principle of Vince hiring someone to fuck with them.
Yeah. Simba, by the way, means lion strength. So that's why he's named after the Lion King.
But you know, it's
But
so because Saba Simba just sounds like something that Vince says when he's fucking. I'm gonna Saba Simba ya. Like
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just such a Vince name, Saba Simba.
Your name is Kimchi. It's like yeah, just some shit
It's
you
so
heard.
like I feel, and you could tell like
Tony Atlas and Junior did not like each other.
yeah,
Then why did he hire him back?
he hired him back with the Saba Simba thing to humiliate him, make him look like an idiot.
I mean, but Vince McMahon hires Tony Atlas back multiple times.
Yeah, I know. I guess they must have made up, but he was the first guy to kind of like be like, I'm not putting up your shit to Vince. This is like before WrestleMania, and
Really?
it's like get the fuck out. Yeah, like
Uh,
he was the first guy to be like, I don't smell what you're cooking, and he was like, it doesn't matter what you smell, get out. Yeah, because like Vince Senior was pushing Tony Atlas as the guy, and I think Tony Atlas was like, why is Hogan the guy? I'm the guy, you know.
oh, well, no, you were not the guy. You
And
were
then, yeah, now
Saba
you're
Simba.
Saba Simba.
Yeah, you're Saba Simba. And after you comes out Butch Whacker. And guess what, Saba? You are the second man eliminated,
Simba.
trying to
Yeah,
get the
exactly.
model out of the ring.
He was hired to be humiliated. That's what it was.
Yeah. Number 9 is Jake Roberts, who goes right after the model right away. It's a huge pops. Crowd fucking loves this feud.
Wait, hold on. Before we move on from Saba Simba,
Yes.
I don't know if I ever told this story in the podcast, but
Please do.
when I saw Saba Simba at in Hershey, it was the day that Droz died.
Oh.
And so I go to Tony. I'm sitting there with Tony Atlas, and he's talking to me about different things. And I go like, "Hey, do you know Droz? Who? Droz died. Remember Darren Drozdov? Oh no, I don't watch AEW." I thought that was the funniest. And like that was I was like, no, I didn't tell him. I was. It was like, yeah, Darren Droz died. Oh, I don't watch AEW. It's like, but bro, you don't get who Darren. I thought that was the funniest response. And I mean, he wasn't trying to be funny. He was dead serious. He thought Darren Drozdov was an AEW guy.
God. I mean, he was old at that point. This is a couple of years ago, right? So
no, this was this summer.
This summer.
Yeah, I saw when I did Jeff Paul's show. He was at the Hershey Comic Con.
Oh, you know what? You told me this story.
Yeah, I did. I didn't tell him the podcast.
Yeah, you didn't tell. Yeah,
but
yeah,
I don't know. We're going to see Tony Atlas again in a match, so I had to tell you the story now.
Yeah, how old is he at this point?
He still looks great.
Yeah, but he is fucking 69 years old, so maybe his marbles aren't all there, you know, when you had this conversation.
But also, I mean, he probably wasn't paying attention to the attitude.
Did you call him Saba?
I said Mr. Simba.
Yeah, Mr. Simba. Okay, good. You kept it respectful. Good for you. Yo, he would have dropped you if you didn't.
Yeah. I feel like if you do, I feel like his memory will come back if you call him Saba Simba.
Yeah, he'll get
his memory will come raging back.
Yeah, raging. Exactly.
Like, hey, Saba Simba, he'll fuck. I think you'll be in the hospital before you can finish.
Yeah. Actually, I would love to see somebody at a convention call him that.
Saba Simba.
Yeah, to see fucking Tony Atlas like rage up, you know? Absolutely. Speaking of rage, number 10 is Hercules. Number 11 is Tito Santana.
Arriba.
Yeah. Paul Roma tries to crossbody Jake Roberts, but Jake Roberts ducks, and Paul Roma goes fucking flying over the top rope in a good third elimination. That was a great bump.
Oh, let me tell you something. Paul Roma was working pretty good in this Rumble up till that point. Doing good.
This is a fucking unpopular opinion. I've always liked Paul Roma.
Yeah, I don't know why people say he's not a good worker. Again, I don't get it.
I get it.
He's like, I could see Paul Roma as a title contender to Bret Hart if they had said Paul Roma's going to fight Bret Hart for the WWE title at the King of the Ring or something, I would have bought it.
Yeah, I get it. Like maybe he doesn't have a character. You know, he's kind of boring. His name's
his character is he's arrogant.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everybody, but he had a good look. I thought he had a good look. Yeah, he might be a little shorter, but he had a good look, and he had really good intensity in the ring. You know, like he always looked like he was pissed the fuck off, right?
Yeah,
and
really good.
I thought like when he was in Power and Glory, I really liked that tag team. I loved their fucking moves. Paul Roma was super arrogant, and you had this big muscle backing him up. I was always a Paul Roma fan. I
Yeah,
always
him,
liked
him
it.
and Bret Hart, they were having a good little mini match because they kept going back to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, but we all know who didn't like him. The same
Saba
guy
Simba.
who no, it's fucking Ric Flair.
Oh,
Same guy who didn't think Rob Macho Man could work,
yeah. Yeah, Paul Roma was the reason why the Horseman reunion didn't work. Yeah, that's
Yeah. Yeah, I get it. Maybe he shouldn't have been a horseman. I get it, but the guy was
maybe
good. I
they
thought
should maybe they should have stopped bringing back the Horseman because it never
yeah,
worked.
that's a good point. Maybe they should have stopped bringing back the horseman. That's a
It's
good
like
another
it's like it's like bringing back DX and you put Fabian Archer in it and you're like, well, the DX fell apart because of Damian Archer. Maybe you shouldn't fucking put Damian Archer in D. I mean, I know they're not going to do that. I got 2 words for you, suck it. I know they're not going to do that, but that's like the equivalent of DX fell apart because of Damian. No, you shouldn't have brought it back. Imagine Fabian Archer and DX.
Who is Damian Archer, bro?
Fabian Archer, the guy from fucking Imperium.
Fabian Eichner?
That guy too. Yeah.
Fabian Archer.
Fabian Archer, whatever.
I thought you were saying Damian Archer, and I was like, did he mix Damian Priest and Lance Archer? Did he combine those?
Well, yeah, it's like okay, so it's like Fabian and Damian and Lance.
Damian Archer.
They're the new DX, and then like Triple H blames them for DX.
No, I agree with you. Yeah, it would be like throwing in Hornswoggle and then saying Hornswoggle ruined DX. That's basically what you're saying.
Yeah, it's like,
well, why did you put Hornswoggle in DX?
Yeah, why didn't you bring this back? No one cares.
You should have never put him in there. Yeah, it's like, yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, because because you have no fucking ideas of Ric Flair's idea is I get the belt and then the Horsemen help me defend the belt. That's just one fucking idea he has.
Dude, I think here's the thing with Ric Flair. I think he's a good wrestler? Yes. But do I think he has a lot of nonsensical opinions? Absolutely. He's a hypocrite. The stuff he says, he's very hypocritical.
So
He'll say one thing nice about somebody, and then as soon as they turn their backs on him, he'll shit all over them, tell you they're never good, never that, and then like they'll make up and he changes his tune. He says he has a lot of really dumb takes on a lot of things.
So I'm a year behind on the Conrad and Laps fan podcasts, and Ric Flair apparently in November of 2020 was at a convention, and a top guy in AEW said that because this is a week before Full Gear, right? I'm sorry, 2022. So a week before Full Gear 2022. So this is how stupid Ric Flair is. A top AEW guy tells him that CM Punk's not coming back, and Tony, I'm about to say Tony Danza. Tony Khan is looking for a way out of the contract with CM Punk. Obviously, it doesn't happen, right? But Conrad goes like, well, if that happened, wouldn't it be great if CM Punk wrestled at WrestleMania, if he could get out of the contract and he could fight Austin? And Ric Flair goes, well, if CM Punk fights Austin should beat him in 10 seconds. And Conrad's like, why? He goes, well, because CM Punk's a dick. He's not nice to anybody. And Conrad's like, yeah, but that match would make millions. Why would you have it end in 10 seconds? Well, nobody likes CM Punk. And CM Punk shouldn't be. CM Punk can't main event WrestleMania. CM Punk's it's a disgrace. He's mean to the wrestlers. And Conrad's like, well, when has that stopped anyone from main eventing? And Ric Flair's just going on how
Luger.
Yeah. But fucking Ric Flair goes on how CM Punk is mean to everybody and he's a dick and he should just be a jobber if he comes back. And it's like, dude, shut the fuck up.
Yeah. Yeah, he's dude. When we were doing the Black Scorpion thing, I did some research and I listened to his take on the Black Scorpion. And Ric Flair is such a fucking idiot. Conrad goes, Arn Anderson on his podcast brought up that he thinks this was a terrible idea and Rick should not be blamed for this, right? Ric Flair starts going off on Arn Anderson and he goes like, how dare he fucking say I didn't make it work? It's not my fault. Like, this is like what they decided this, they put me in this role. And like, I'm not like, he want to say that I didn't make it, I didn't work. And then Conrad has like to correct him, like, no, Arn didn't say that. Arn said they made a shitty idea and they put Ric Flair in an unfair situation. And then Ric Flair goes, oh yeah, well, it's true. And I'm like, then you were just going off on Arn Anderson, like, because you thought it was his words. You fucking idiot. He's such an idiot,
dude. Everyone in WCW always claims like, oh, everyone in WCW thinks It would have been so fucking great if that company was just wrestling and no angles and just wrestling. And it's like, dude, who are they still selling figures of 30 years later? Ultimate Warrior, Bray Wyatt, the fucking characters. That's what makes money.
Yeah.
You guys were Ole Anderson's a moron, which is why he couldn't make the Black Scorpion work.
Yeah, he's no Saba Simba. Let me tell you that. Which
You know what?
I want
Saba
to
Simba's a
see.
better gimmick than the Black Scorpion.
I want to see a fucking action figure of Saba Simba now.
Never had. Oh my god, I would love it. It should be him and Apollo, a Nigerian prince, Apollo Cruz.
Yeah. All right. Coming out number 12 is another character, The Undertaker, who comes out and he fucking takes out Bret Hart right away.
Right away. But that's
Yeah,
good.
right away. Coming out 13 was Snuka. And while Snuka's out there, fucking Taker throws out Butchwhacker for the 5th elimination. So that's 2 eliminations right in a row for fucking Undertaker.
Good.
Coming out 14th is fucking the British Bulldog, the returning Davey Boy Smith. Comes out to a big pop. Fucking 15 is Demolition Smash. And then Jake the Snake Roberts gets eliminated 6th by Rick the Model Martel. So yep. Rick Model Martel's got a pair of fucking eliminations already. Coming out 16th is Legion of Doom Road Warrior Hawk. 17th was a very big surprise for me. Shane Douglas.
Yep.
I did not know he was working in this company as just Shane Douglas.
Yeah, he was. I think the push they wound up giving the Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, I think they wanted to give to him back then. I don't know why it didn't work out, but he was going to get the young whippersnapper push.
Yeah, they kept calling him like, oh, the young the young whippersnapper kind of guy, like this young guy. He's
like I think he was going to be like their version of like Tommy Rich, where he blows Vince and gets the belt. No, he was going to be like their version of like the young hot baby face. Because if you think of like young Shane Douglas, I mean, Shane Douglas did like for 1991, he did fit the definition of what a good looking guy should be. That collapses right away. I mean, by 93, he looks like probably drugs, but I could see it. But
yeah, I agree.
Yeah, he's there, but he has a good showing in this match. He's in the match for a while.
He's in the match for a very long time, but he doesn't really do anything. But he's in there for a very long time. Roddy Piper really puts him over. You know
what? As a kid, I'm thinking to myself again. I remember us kids. He's being built to be a guy. Eventually, he's going to be a guy, and doesn't happen.
What they should have done, they should have gave him a spear and a fucking shield, and they should have called him Shane Simba. They would have fucking worked, dude. Undertaker takes out Texas Tornado for the 7th elimination, so Undertaker's got like 3 eliminations already, and then Hawk throws out Jimmy Snuka 8. Number 18. Nobody comes out. And it's finally revealed, I think, later on that it was supposed to be
Macho Man, Warriors beating him up backstage.
Yeah, or Warrior chased him out of the building or whatever, but Macho Man never comes out. I like that they did that. Like, nobody comes out because it was the guy who was supposed to be reserved, he runs away. I like that they did that. Nowadays, they do this thing where the guy comes out and somebody beats him up and takes a spot.
Oh, yeah, they would have Warrior beating. They would have, like, stopped the match, so him and Warrior would have put him through the table.
Yeah. I don't like that. I like this. It just feels more realistic, you know? Number 19 is Animal and the Legion of Doom together. They take out the Undertaker.
Good.
9.
That was an effective way, because I remember as a kid, I'm like, how is I thought Undertaker was going to win the match. And then when the Legion of Doom took him, I'm like, all right, that's a plausible way to get him out of the match.
Yeah, because, and it's, you know what, like, it does make sense thinking, like, how are they going to take him out? Because Undertaker's whole gimmick is he's not selling anything, you know? Like, he takes big fucking hits from everybody, and he just shakes it off. And even the superstars, the way they're supposed to act, too, is they hit him, and then they fucking see him, like, come out of it, and they, like, look shocked, like, what the fuck? This guy didn't go down from that, and, like, absolutely, yeah, I could, you know, you're right. He's like, how do you take this guy out? And it was, you take the 2 big fucking powerful dudes to take him out, double team him out, yeah. And here's the thing, though. As soon as they fucking take out Taker, Rick the Model Martel and Hercules together take out Road Warrior Hawk for the 10th elimination right away. Coming in at number 20 Demolition Crush. So Demolition, Smash, and Crusher in this. Axe is not going to be in this match at all. Is he injured or is
Axe is
he
gone already.
gone
Axe
already?
axed. It's just
Axe got the axe. Why did he get the axe? Do you know?
he was getting old and he was sick of Vince's shit. So
Okay. That's usually what it is. Sick of Vince's shit. Yeah. Number 21 is Jim Duggan. Comes out to a huge pop. Coming out number 22 is Earthquake, who comes in and takes out Road Warrior Animal, which was cool though because we had these two big dudes
yeah, he's not
facing
fat.
off in the ring. You know, I always like that spot in the Royal Rumble where you got these two big fucking dudes and they just kind of square off. Everybody loves that, you know. But I liked that there was usually when they do it now, the times there isn't a definitive, right? This one there was. Road Warrior Animal thought he could challenge the fucking Earthquake, and he made a mistake because Earthquake just fucking throws this guy out. But you know, it's cool. There's a power struggle, but one guy has to overcome. I like that. 23 is Mr. Perfect, who does the thing where he fucking throws the towel without looking. And Bobby Heenan is not paying attention, but he still somehow is able to catch
Dude, that's one of the best moments of the show too. So many cool little moments on this show.
Mm-hmm. He catches it behind him too. It's fucking fantastic. I love that little thing where he would throw the towel without looking, and Heenan would catch it. Loved it. I think nobody fit like better for being managed by Bobby Heenan than Mr. Perfect. I really
yeah.
He's too perfect.
Genius.
Yeah. Where is the genius, by the way?
Well, he's dead right now. Today.
No.
Probably. I mean, he's like he basically was on the jobber shows. He was basically like what Cedric Alexander is right now at that point.
Yeah. Mr. Perfect comes in and takes out Jim Duggan. Number 24 is Hogan. Hogan comes out.
Brother.
I was wrong actually. Demolition Smash does come out. No. Hogan comes out and he takes out Smash. 13th elimination. I apologize for that. Coming out at 25th is Haku. And while Haku's out there, Hogan fucking eliminates Greg the Hammer Valentine for the 14th elimination. Greg the Hammer Valentine has been there for a long time. He came in number 3, so that's pretty good for him. Number 26. You know Greg? By the way, he's no longer doing the rhythm and blues gimmick here.
Yeah, he had broken up with. He's supposed to be a face. He broke up with Honky Tonk Man.
He has been in this company for a very fucking long time at this point.
Yeah, it's been it's gonna be like 8 years. I think like because remember he was going back and forth like a lot of these guys from New York but he officially like becomes like a full-time member like 83, 84. So
coming out at number 26 is Jim the Anvil Neidhart, and Earthquake takes his time to throw out Tito Santana for the 15th elimination. Now comes one of my favorite moments, probably my favorite moment of this entire show. Coming in at number 27, Luke Wacker. He fucking marches into the ring. Fucking Earthquake grabs him and then fucking throws him out the other side of the ring. And then he just keeps marching down the aisle.
Another fucking classic moment.
People fucking are laughing at this. It's so funny. It's such a good moment, dude. I fucking love this. Tell me, what did you think about this when fucking Luke Wacker comes in?
It was the greatest. It's like a guy like that, he can do something like that, and he's still as over as he like. That's what the Bushwhackers are perfect for.
It's like it's like Santino Marella.
Yeah.
You know, did you guys pop when you were watching this? You guys were like,
yeah.
Great little comedy break. You know, you needed in this. Mm-hmm. Coming in at number 28 is Brian Knobbs of the Nasty Boys. Jerry Saggs is not going to be here. Is he out in injury?
Yeah, I don't know. There was something weird. One of the Black White magazines. I think he was like a little injured. So I think they didn't really debut yet, but someone couldn't make it. So, Andre couldn't make it. So they just put in one of the Nasty Boys.
Oh, okay.
So essentially, it's like
you need a spot filler, but you can't put in 2. You just need one guy. I get it.
Yeah, so you just put in and Knobbs also was better friends with Hogan, so I'm sure Hogan was. They're still best friends. So I'm sure Hogan's like, we're putting in Knobbs, we're putting in.
That's such a weird friendship. Right?
Yeah, I would not expect Knobbs and Hulk Hogan to be this close.
Yeah, when I used to watch Hogan Knows Best, and I was like, these guys are friends, and like because Brian Knobbs is like nowhere near a health freak. And I feel like Hogan is like, even into his old age, he's like always working out. He's like a health conscious freak, and
You know
it's
what
like,
you know what I bet Brian Knobs really good at? Being a fucking like gopher, being like a fucking henchman. You know?
yeah, going getting drugs probably.
Or being like, like maybe back in the WCW, like, hey brother, find out like what people are saying about me. Like, I heard Dean Malenko said you're a fucking idiot. Yeah, I heard that, Hogan. Thanks, brother. Appreciate that.
Yeah, yeah, I can see that happening probably. Anyways, Brian Knobs takes out Hercules for the 17th elimination. Coming in at number 29, the penultimate entry is the Warlord, and Crush gets eliminated 18th by Hulk Hogan.
Oh,
Hulk
Hogan
Hogan
hates
clotheslines. I'm sorry.
Hogan hated demolition this match. Jesus.
Hogan, when you watching this and you're just like, wow, Rick Martel's got like 3 eliminations or 4 eliminations, doing great, and like, wow, you're like seeing some guys do like three, like old Undertaker's got like 3, 4 eliminations. Hogan comes in and just blows it all out of the water. He's like 7, 8 fucking eliminations.
Yeah.
And it's just like so rapid, just like one after the next. This is like where I can see people saying like Hogan, like, just did things to make sure he looked like the best. I get it, at this point.
Yeah, but also they got also though they know that Hope they already knew that Hogan was winning at Mania, so they got to make him look strong.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. Hogan, and there's a cool moment where Hogan and fucking Warlord match up because Warlord's a big fucking dude, but Hogan just beats the shit out of this guy, clotheslines him out the fucking ring for a 19th elimination. Coming in at number 30 is Tugboat. And Brian Knobs throws out Shane Douglas for the 20th elimination. So yes, he was in there for a very fucking long time. Hogan surprisingly throws Tugboat out for the 21st elimination.
Yeah, it was like kind of like it was like a weird moment because it's like, are we supposed to like or don't you want us to cheer you? Why would you do that?
Yeah, because remember, Tugboat's supposed to be Hogan's friend, and Hogan fucking throws him out.
I figure like they're trying to build towards Tugboat will eventually turn on Hogan, but then he doesn't. He turns on the Bushwhackers when he does turn. But
yeah, and here's the thing: however, in this Royal Rumble, Tugboat did attack Hogan first.
Oh, so Hogan's okay. So that's how they just.
Yeah. And then, it was like weird. They were in a corner with other guy, and then Tugboat just started attacking Hogan, and then Hogan came back, and then he leaves. He goes to the other side of the ring, and Hogan just goes right after, like fucking makes a beeline for him, and then just fucking throws him out. The British Bulldog, he drop kicked Mr. Perfect out of the ring for the 22nd elimination. And Rick the Model Martel, he takes out Jim the Anvil Neidhart for the 23rd elimination. So he's got a lot of fucking eliminations. At this point, Model has been in this ring the longest.
He's gonna be. Model had the record of the longest.
Yes, it was like 50 minutes. It was close to an hour or something like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he had a record. Yeah, it was. I really felt like they were really trying to make this guy into a big deal.
Yeah. Yes.
The Bulldog takes out Haku for the 24th, and then the Model gets taken out by the Bulldog. So even the British Bulldog gets a lot of eliminations. Get like
they were really behind the British Bulldog back then too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You see the guys that they're like kind of like positioning to like, you're not the guy, but you play the cards right. You might be the guy. Yeah, like you might be a guy. You're like upper mid, right? So the final 4 we have Earthquake, Brian Knobs of the fucking Nasty Boys, and they fucking just double team the British Bulldog, who's part of the final 4 with Hogan. And this is smart too, because they double team the fucking Bulldog and he's all fucking dazed. They just fucking throw him out. So he's the 26th elimination. Now you might say 26. There's like 3 guys because remember, one is Macho Man. He doesn't come into that, counts as elimination. So there's down to 3 guys now: Brian Knobs, Earthquake, and Hogan. And they start beating on Hogan. They're beating on Hogan, double teaming him. They even do the fucking Earthquake splash on Hogan. And then Hogan just pops right up. No fucking sells the shit out of this.
Love it.
Takes Brian Knobs out of the ring and then takes Hogan Quake out for the win.
No, he struggles first. He tries to buy it, and Earthquake falls in him. He has to Hulk up again.
Yeah, but at the end he takes him out. I'm at this point kind of getting sick and tired of the Hogan and the Hulk up.
But you don't have that much longer of it, so
Yeah, yeah. But overall, you gotta say it's a fun rumble.
it
It's
was a good
got it's,
rumble.
it's
Earthquake and Hogan had a far better. It wasn't really a match, but it's like a mini match than they did at SummerSlam '90. Uh, I liked it. I think I love when I want that to come back. Like these AEW matches are so ridiculous, where like Kenny Omega hits 9 finishers and the guy kicks out. It would. I think if like honestly, if Will Ospreay hits Kenny Omega with like 20 finishers and then Kenny Omega just stands up like nothing happened, I think that fits. Why not? I think it fits. I like it. I think it's funny to me.
um I don't know. I like
I like that
like
one guy does that. Well, I'm not saying everybody should do it. I like that one
yeah,
guy just does it. Like,
I get what you're saying, but I liked it better when Hogan's Hulk ups were like really building up. Meaning like he's getting beat and like
oh yeah.
he's using the crowd reaction to slowly,
He
slowly
does
build
just
up.
stand up.
Yeah, but now because like if you notice the past few matches, he doesn't do that. He just gets
Stop
up right away.
selling.
Yeah, and I don't like that. I like the if you want to know what I'm talking about, watch Hogan versus Andre because that's what he does. He
Yeah.
starts doing this, and people start clapping, and then he's using the energy of the crowd, and then all of a sudden he'll get beat back down,
Yeah.
and then you have to watch him get beat again, and then he slowly does it again,
A
and
a great example is WrestleMania 18. He does it perfectly.
yeah, and the people have to clap even louder because they were like, before we didn't clap loud enough. That's why he still got beat. We got to clap even louder, and they get into it, and that's when he does that. I want that. I don't want this bullshit. You take a fucking finisher and you pop right up. I don't like that. That to me, that's
I kind
where's
of
the
feel
storytelling? Where's the
I
storytelling?
I kind of feel like they're at an impasse in the Hogan character. I think Vince wants to move on from Hogan, and Hogan wants Vince to rely on him more than ever. And it's causing the Hogan character to suffer because they don't know the direction of the. You know what I'm saying? Like,
No, I agree. I think that's probably what. I
and I
think you're
think
probably
Vince
right.
was
That's probably
annoyed
what's happening. Yeah.
at this mania that he had to go back to Hogan, but he does. But I think he's like, all right, this is a temporary going back, and then he has Undertaker beat him, and he told Sid Justice. So Sid Justice, when he gets hired over the summer, is pitched, you will inherit the red and yellow from Hulk Hogan, and that'll be your thing. And that doesn't happen, obviously. But Vince is looking for a new Hogan, and instead he gets a new Austin. It takes him a while to get there.
And by the way, while I might not like that shit, the fans there are eating this Hogan shit.
Oh yeah,
up.
I was eating it up. Me and my
Yeah,
friends.
yeah. So I'm in the minority, by the way.
The mistake he made, the Vince made, he moved away from. There's no reason in 1991 to move away from Hogan as a top star. It's just you're shooting yourself in the foot. And what he did was he turned me off because I stopped watching from 93 to 98. I don't watch at all. And luckily he got me back because of Rock and Austin. If he didn't have Rock and Austin, he never would have got me back.
Oh yeah. I mean, The Rock's what got me back in too.
Yeah.
But
So it's like the fact the amount of money he would have made on me that he loses because he like pushes Hogan out it's just so fucking it was fucking dumb.
do you think he was pushing Hogan out because he was sick and tired of relying on one guy? Because he felt like
I
he doesn't like giving Hogan that much power. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
Hogan got too big for his britches, and he wanted someone more controllable, which is what he thought Lex or Sid Vicious would be. Yeah, and I think he was trying to get ahead of people getting sick of Hogan, but I don't think people were sick of Hogan at all. I think people got sick of Hogan around '95, and then Hogan turned himself heel and bought himself like another like fucking 8 years. Like,
By the way, Junior did win that Ultimate. His
ultimately, yes, now the
brand
company is
today,
bigger than anybody.
yeah, his brand is bigger than any fucking one star will ever be. Yeah, he's won. He won that battle. I will give him that. That fucking old man, he's going to hell, but he 100%.
He gets his way one way.
He won a lot of his battles. I'll give him that.
He told Jim Ross like one day we're gonna put the belt on Tiger Ali Singh because I want an Indian champ, and then that didn't happen. That was his intent when hiring him, and he wound up doing it with Jinder Mahal. He was gonna put on an Indian guy. It was just who's the Indian guy because he wanted India. He wanted that to break into India.
By the way, doing that doesn't necessarily mean you're winning though, because New Japan they do the same shit and it doesn't work. The guy Geto years ago said, "I'm gonna make Evil and Sonata champion," and he has since done that, and both have been failures as champions. So just putting the belt on it doesn't actually mean you fucking
No,
succeeded.
but one way or the other, he gets his way. Look, this whole fucking merger was him. The reason why he sold the company and did this merger was so he would be put back in power.
Exactly, which
His
is
way,
so sad. It's so sad.
dude,
I liked even though I'm not a fan of this family, I like the idea that I could know that a McMahon is going to be running the WWE, right? And then here's the thing: somebody made a good point. I was listening to the Voices of Wrestling podcast, and he said when Junior dies or when he leaves, like he finally retires, there is no obligation for them to put a McMahon in charge or even hire a McMahon. You know, it's run by a committee or whatever. Now they could a board. They could do whatever the fuck they want. There is no requirement.
Well, now Vince has it in his contract that it has to be extreme circumstances to remove him. He put that in writing.
What is it? Death?
It's death, severe illness, or like he shut up a school. Like he has to like be convicted of like murdering like school children, like or something.
Yeah, or like he becomes like, an invalid. He just like.
I think as long as he can like say yes or no, he's in charge.
Yeah. Obviously,
I think it was some type of extreme language that it would be in order for the deal to go through, he has an ironclad contract that he can't be removed from power. That's what he wanted.
Oh, of course, that's what he wanted, and it's really he is.
But you know what? For what you're saying, like it's sad. Vince's dad didn't want to give him the company. Vince's dad put so many things in that contract that if Vince fucked up, Gorilla Monsoon and those other guys would have got the company because he really did. He really didn't want to sell it to him. It's not like he didn't believe in his son. So this whole thing that this whole like McMahon dynasty, it's really like it really wasn't even supposed to be Vince. I think if Vince McMahon Sr. had his way, he would have gave the company to Gorilla Monsoon and the other old men.
Yeah. When I'm gonna be honest, this is just my honest take. I think knowing what he just did, like this is his family's birthright. He sold it just for his own power. He's a very sad, pathetic man.
But what I'm saying to you is his father didn't even want to give it to him, and his father put a lot of things in that would lead him to fail. So I know you're saying like it's but his father didn't even agree that this is his birthright. His father didn't even love him. So like I'm not defending him. What I'm saying is he probably doesn't feel any loyalty to his kids either. Because like if you wanted this company so bad, you should have took it from me like I did to my dad, and you didn't. So I'm gonna say,
I guess, but it's just like I don't know. It's so sad. Like I have not. He has nothing else, dude. That's telling me he has nothing else in his life.
He has nothing else.
That's sad. That's really sad.
I agree, but you know what?
This guy has nothing else in his life. It's WWE, running WWE, being in charge of power. He feels like a big man because he's so insecure about who he is as a person. That's fucking sad. I am actually glad I do not have his life. I really do.
Yeah, it's so funny that McMahon book didn't gain any traction. It was such a good book. I mean,
wait, what McMahon book?
The Ringmaster. It came out right before WrestleMania, but they interview people that he grew up with. They interview his college roommate, and Meltzer like didn't even like cover the book, and the author was like, "Why don't you want to interview me about this?" Like Vince McMahon's best friend as a kid was the guy's a farmer, and his like and a girl he dated, and there's like all these stories about his childhood that came out because of this, and Meltzer like didn't even talk to this guy. It was really weird.
Yeah, we don't know why. It's the same reason why we know why fucking Roddy Piper says nonsensical things. He's a fucking his brain's not working. Meltzer is
also
some kind of autism.
I think Meltzer doesn't want anyone Meltzer always wants to be the expert. If someone's like,
Sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
I actually have new information about Vince McMahon because I spoke to his childhood best friend, and Meltzer doesn't want to hear that because Meltzer's probably like, well, I should have talked to his childhood best friend. And like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Vince was like producing. Basically, Vince had a backyard federation in college. Like he was promoting wrestling shows and he wrestled on them.
Really?
Yeah, like that stuff. Like nobody know. Like I'm so surprised that book. Like it's almost like the wrestling media. You know why? Because it's like, oh, this guy actually did real research. This guy actually traveled. You know, he didn't sit behind a computer and have fucking Raven call him with info or whoever the fuck called him, Paul Heyman. You didn't hear this from me, but Jake Cargill's at the Performance Center, Dave. Oh, thank you. Jake Cargill's at the Performance Center right now. Jerk it off. You know, like fucking, you know, he actually went and vetted his sources. They don't like that. Like, no, you're not supposed to actually.
You know what's funny about Dave Meltzer? He didn't even break that story.
No.
So a guy who's always like, he knows the news, he didn't even fucking know that story. And he always says, oh, actually, I knew about it, but I didn't want to say it. Like, bullshit. You didn't fucking know about it.
I remember like the CM Punk. There's some other stuff that hasn't come out yet. That's pretty bad.
Yeah.
What didn't come out? What did CM Punk rape the entire locker room? Shut the fuck up.
Whenever they don't break the news, this is him and Brian Alvarez, by the way. Whenever they don't break the news, they always go, we actually knew about it, but we just didn't want to break it.
We just didn't want to break the news.
Bullshit. And here's an example, because if they knew it, they would break it right away. And this is proof. Remember that whole MJF on the flight thing? Is he gonna fucking show up at the fucking?
Oh, that was fun. They like
and they were completely wrong, but they were trying to like act like they were breaking the news like minute by minute. It was so pathetic.
Do you know that he left an Eagles concert to do an audio update on whether or not MJF got on the plane? He left an Eagles concert.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, Dave. I mean, you already know, but everybody, dude, you guys. He has mental problems. You see how he leaves his room. It's a filthy mess. The way he talks. He has some kind of like mental disability. And the fact that you guys think that he has some kind of knowledge and power with disability, it's like, come on, dude. He doesn't. He doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about. He makes shit up more than half the time he makes shit up. And he is never wrong.
Alvarez. Alvarez is never wrong either.
I knew that. I had 3 sources tell me, but I didn't think it was right to break the news. Bullshit. Get the fuck out of here. Go fuck yourself.
Well, listen. Fuck Dave Meltzer. Next 4 weeks. Let's break down the next 4 weeks. Next week, it's the first WCW pay-per-view in 1991. It's the Road to WrestleMania. It's Wrestle War 91. It's the Four Horsemen versus Dudes with Attitudes in the War Games.
You said Wrestle War 1991?
91. Wrestle War 91, yeah. In 2 weeks, we got WrestleMania 7, which is Hulk Hogan versus Sergeant Slaughter.
Ugh.
In 3 weeks, the first Super Brawl, which is Ric Flair versus Tatsumi Fujimi. And then in 4 weeks, UWF Beach Brawl. It's on YouTube. It's 2 hours. This is the only second non-WCW WWF pay-per-view ever. We're gonna cover that. We're covering every pay-per-view. That was on pay-per-view. It counts. It's on YouTube. So we'll be covering that in 4 weeks. Which are you more? I know the one I'm most excited for. What about you?
I would like to see Ric Flair versus Fujinami.
Well, I'm excited for Breach Brawl because I'm wondering how bad this is gonna be.
Oh, the one with the fucking the little midget guy?
No, this is the Herb Abrams promotion. UWF.
Oh, the one they did the Dark Side about, the guy.
Yeah.
I'm not looking forward to that. I think it's gonna. You know what I think about that? I think it's not gonna be so bad that it's good, but it's gonna be the amount of bad where you're just like, this is bad.
Well, it's only 2 hours, so.
Oh yeah, it's
better,
only 2 hours.
In that aspect, it'll be better than that Starrcade '86 that was like 9 fucking years.
Yeah, that's true. You know.
All right, guys, that's the podcast. If you enjoyed the show, please subscribe to us on YouTube and iTunes. Leave us a review; that helps a lot. And follow us, Andrew, son of Lee. Right, that's your name.
Hey, just follow this pod, man. Just
follow this Wrestling Pod on Instagram. Follow me, Ray Gootz on Ray Gootz Comedy on TikTok.
Dude, let us know what you guys think. Just you can say whatever you guys want.
Yeah, leave comments. Some of you have left comments. Somebody made a laugh that we were calling Samoan SWAT team the Bloodline or the
The
Usos.
Usos. Yeah. Dude, if you don't like some of the stuff we're saying, like our takes about like
Argue with us.
we don't think Ric Flair is better than Randy Savage,
Well,
don't just
that's a
say that you
fact.
disagree. Give us some facts. Yeah, back it up.
I mean, no, it's a fact that Ric Flair stinks. And
I bet you nobody's gonna disagree with that.
no,
Because how do you prove that? How do you prove
yeah.
Ric Flair is better than Randy Savage?
All right, guys. We'll be talking about Ric Flair next week. We'll see you next week for Wrestle War 91.
Mm-hmm.